didn't quite take.
Dr. Francis Collins heads the National Institutes of Health.
For now, it's only for adults with compromised immune systems. The rest of the country must wait for further instructions. Thousands of Americans have apparently been getting boosters before they're okayed, and the CDC is asking people not to do that.
Fox's Peter Ducey, they're cleaning up in Michigan from storms that did damage and caused flooding so bad it temporarily closed freeways around Detroit. Hundreds of thousands remain without power. Tropical Depression Fred's headed to Florida, where Fox's Evan Brown is.
It is expected to strengthen. The National Hurricane Center now has a tropical storm watch posted for parts of the Florida Keys, as well as southwest Florida.
Fred will hit there this weekend. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
So good out on the roads, not seeing any crashes across Lee, Collier, and Charlotte counties. Everything open and clear on Alligator Alley if you're taking a ride toward the East Coast early on this morning. Smooth sailing heading in and out of RSW if you're catching an early morning flight out there right now and around Terminal Access Road and Treeline Avenue, not seeing any delays. Punta Gorda Airport seeing a little bit of a slowdown heading southbound along Golf Course Boulevard right off of Airport Road. Not seeing any major problems up and down 75 or US 41. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day with scattered thunderstorms developing yet again for this afternoon, with temperatures pushing to near 93 degrees and a few thunderstorms certainly lingering on into your Friday evening plans. All eyes on Fred as we head into the upcoming weekend, with Fred expected to pass just offshore of us as a tropical storm as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Fred primarily will be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida, though we could see some elevated winds with gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. Rainfall totals between 1 to 3 inches with locally heavier amounts will be possible, with certainly flooding being a potential as the system passes just offshore of us. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Collier County that extend up through the Englewood area. Make sure you stay tuned to updates. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
The news you need, the host you trust, getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, I strive to offer the highest level of care for those suffering with back and neck problems. With unparalleled service and our award-winning non-surgical spinal decompression approach, thousands of people have chosen us to treat their back or neck problems. If you are seeking lasting relief that is proven effective without needles or surgery, then call today to see if you may be a candidate. This completely safe treatment can be effective for many conditions, including sciatica, ruptured or herniated discs, facet syndrome, compressed nerves, arthritis, and spinal stenosis. Additionally, people who had failed back surgery in the past often find incredible relief from spinal decompression. At Johnston Spinal Care, all our treatments are drug-free and non-surgical. We use new and comprehensive approaches that provide lasting relief. Johnston Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer. At Rock Solid Countertops and More, $9.99 gets it done. Through Labor Day, get a full set of kitchen countertops from $9.99 installed. Rock Solid guarantees to beat any competitor's prices, including installation. So come see Hugo and his team at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples, or visit rocksolidnaples.com. Rock Solid, where $9.99 gets it done.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Gary, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Enjoy the energizing power of the outdoors. We recommend a mid-morning break in nature. So get outside and make your morning break better with a Nature Valley granola bar.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. And, of course, you go there to watch. And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, thank you so much for all of you who are doing that as well. To listen at your convenience, you can go to DrewSteele.com, and there's a link there so you can subscribe. And just go to your favorite podcast location. No problem. We keep an eye on Fred. Fred, who is going to be here over the weekend as of 5 a.m., according to the National Hurricane Center. Tropical depression, 35-mile-an-hour maximum sustained, west-northwest at 10 miles an hour, keeping the track as it goes right by us. And just got to keep an eye on it, as we do. And Casey Sherman and, of course, Matt Devitt and the rest of the Wink News meteorologist team keeping an eye on that and getting updates, right? So we continue to have that.
On the 17th anniversary of Charlie.
Are you trying to make things worse, or why are you, what are you suggesting?
Hey, that's like a notch on my belt, man. That's a trophy in my life.
Is that you survived Charlie kind of thing? Like, do you still have the T-shirt? Is that?
You know what? I don't think I do.
Did you have one to begin with?
No.
All right. Jakes, here's the thing. You know, we got a lot of things to talk about, including the fact that Biden owns this disaster, this rout, this horrible situation in Afghanistan, full stop. And I'll explain in a lot of ways how. And a couple of weeks ago, we were talking to military experts. Mike Lyons was on with us. I'll have some audio of what we talked about with regard to some of the specifics that you may or may not hear today that are uncomfortable things to talk about with regard to Afghanistan. So we're going to get to that. Nikki Fried had a Freudian slip of epic proportion. She was being interviewed on MSNBC, and you'll get a chance to hear that. It's fun. And we got a lot of guests today. Mark Morgan is going to join us. We're going to talk about what's happening along the border. A lot of concerns, once again, about the numbers coming across the border. How is this going to stop? And ultimately, where does this leave us all across the country, whether it's the vid and who's coming across the border, what countries are coming across the border. It's not just South America. It's more than that. And we're going to dig into that situation. Our good friend Amanda Milius is going to join us as well as 8:05, at 8:05, excuse me. And, you know, The Plot Against the President, the great movie about what they did to Donald Trump, starting with his win in 2016 and the whole Trump-Russia collusion hoax. But we're going to get into some other stories and things that have been going on lately. So get ready for that. But, you know, as I brought up Jake a little earlier, Jake's upset because today is, does anybody really care? You're not all obsessed with this, right?
No.
The Friday the 13th deal? You don't care. The Friday the 13th. You see, you do care. I was just going to blow it off and not worry about it and move on. And now I come to find out you are worried about it.
I'm not worried.
Yes, you are. You're acting really weird today. It's that kind of spooky kind of, I don't know what it is. It's that, it's just something, what is that?
Super scary music.
That's not scary music. That's something's just around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Look, today, no. We're going to move on in just a second. Let me just say this. Today is one of those days, and Friday the 13th is one of those things where you'll will something to happen. Just forget it. Ignore it. Because it'll be like a snowball. Something will go wrong with your day, and then you'll be like, it's Friday the 13th. I knew this was going to happen, and then all of a sudden something else bad will happen. If you believe something bad's going to happen today, then something bad's going to happen. Just don't believe it. Just ignore it. All right, we can't ignore this. Look, there are certain things that are going on right now with regard to this administration, and we know how bad it is, whether it's inflation or whether it's the $5.5 trillion that this government is getting ready to spend. And hopefully there'll be some pushback. And there is actually from Democrats on this infrastructure package, and what Nancy Pelosi is saying, it's the whole deal or no deal. And there's some rattling going on in between the quote-unquote moderate Democrats and the radical left, which is really all of them. It's just depending on how radical you want to get. And how, listen, I'm not sure that we want to go through with this, and what kind of Marxism we're trying to bring into this country. At least Democrats are with this policy. I'll explain in just a little bit. You can go through all the bad things, but again, here we go with Afghanistan and how bad things are right now.
President, some Vietnamese veterans see echoes of their experience in this withdrawal in Afghanistan. Do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam, with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability.
Okay, so no comparison. Nothing's going to be happening like that. We're not going to see a situation like that. Only the one thing. It is a Friday. That's not the music I was looking for. It's more like... Only now you find out that we're going to be sending 3,000 troops there to be to help with the evacuation of Americans and diplomats there, and this is not good. We're seeing this administration, who, even with Barack Obama as president of the United States, and I guess Joe Biden taking cues from him, bowing down to our enemies across the globe and acting so subservient to others, and watching and seeing what they say and do, and then saying, well, what do you want us to do? How much do you want us to help you? Or Iran, how much do you want us to help you and give you when it comes to the proliferation of nuclear weapons? And, of course, how much you hate us, but we'll help you along the way. When it comes to Russia and what they're doing, and we want to shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, and we don't want to have that here, and then they're complaining about gas prices, but we'll make it better because we'll beg and plead to OPEC to please pump up the spigots, if you will, and get us more oil over here, even though not too long ago we were energy independent in that kind of policy, and to give the Nord Stream 2 pipeline to Russia to lead into Europe so that they have that kind of control there. All of these things that have been absolute disasters, and now we come to find out we have the next absolute disaster right here by letting the situation in Afghanistan get completely out of control. And this is not the way you leave the country. And the president is promising us, you're not going to see any airlifts off of roofs reminiscent of Vietnam. You're not going to see that. And the concern that I have right out of the gate when he said that is, it's sure sounding like the way Afghanistan is rolling along right now. And you're talking about every major city in Afghanistan being taken over by the Taliban, a Taliban who has zero interest in doing anything to be part of a global community. I hope and pray that there is not one single person that's in this administration that would suggest that we're just waiting and hoping that the Taliban will come along, and when we give them exactly what we want, which is the country, that they're just going to come along and democratically are going to look at individuals and say, listen, we want to be part of the international community, knowing what they're doing, which is the torturing of kids. That's what's happening right now, taking them as trophies from families who were fighting against the Taliban and siding with U.S. military, people being executed on the spot for being and siding with the United States military against Taliban. These individuals, these people, they are terrorists. They have no desire to be part of the international community. It would really be embarrassing and awful if someone in the administration said something like, well, let's see what they want to do when it comes to being part of the international community. I'm sure that they do, right?
The Taliban also has to make an assessment about what they want their role to be in the international community.
Yeah. There's Jen Psaki saying that just the other day. Unbelievable. They have to decide what role they want to take in the international community. They've never wanted to take a role in the international community. they're pretty much showing us right now what they think about the international community or any other community for that matter. And who fills the void here? Again, when Biden was talking about, no, it's not going to be one of those things. We're going to see people lifted off the roof when he said previously about the intel assessments there and what is going on. It's not going to be an inevitable Taliban takeover because you have Afghan troops, 300,000 well-equipped troops and an army and an air force against something like 75,000. It's not inevitable until you find out it is. And the question is, how and why is it inevitable? How did this happen? And there's a lot of different reasons. And I know that there are some people who may not like the idea that you would say there is no reason for us to get out. We need to have a presence there. I know that there are many people who like the idea, and I get it. 20 years is enough. We need to get out of there. And we've talked about that before, but we also talked about the importance of a presence there in Afghanistan because somebody fills the void. And it's hard to talk about, but Mike Lyons, military expert who was on with us just a couple of weeks ago, we were having this conversation. Jake remembers this. He was the one that brought it up this morning. How Mike Lyons was talking about a couple of things that were really important with regard to getting people out of Afghanistan, with regard to the Taliban coming across the country and taking over these different locations, these different cities, and what they are doing. 300,000 well-equipped members of the military there, Afghan troops. Well, there are other things that are going on here, and I want you to listen to what Mike Lyons said, what was it, just a couple of weeks ago here on this program.
You know, we're taking the capability out of their Air Force. We're going to take the capability out of their ground forces. The intel will all dry up here. They haven't proven themselves. The Afghan government only controls now 20% of the districts, the places on the ground there. And I think just that alone, the fact that the last year that the Taliban has increased that much ground space. That's what war is all about, the taking of real estate, the taking of ground space. And it looks like the Taliban is going to continue to do that, especially once America is fully out of there.
But did you hear the first part of that when he talked about airstrikes and Air Force and that kind of ground cover? It doesn't exist there without us being there. So no ground cover, no way to support troops going in. There's nothing that they can do. It's one-on-one, and they're not having one-on-one. And that's why they're losing this battle in all of these areas that are being taken over. You know, I talked as well, and just, I guess I'll wait till later to talk about this specific issue because it's a little longer that he brought up, Mike Lyons. But what about the message that it sends across the globe, and who fills the void? You're
going to see stories in the future of the Taliban potentially torturing some of these individuals. That's going to happen, and the president's reaction to it is, well, we're just going to shame them into maybe they won't do it or not. That's just not going to work. We really let those people down, and I just don't see how anybody in the future works with us. It's going to be a real stain on what happens to future operations with our.
Yeah. What happens with future operations? Who's going to trust us anymore? And then the role of China that he brought up.
Yeah, the 9/11 date didn't make any sense either. From again this administration, that's a day from their perspective is kind of July 4th. It's something they celebrate, and we were going to do something on that. It just didn't make sense, and I'm surprised we were so tone deaf originally to that. At least that's been pivoted off back now to August 31st. Again, whatever. Right. For all practical purposes, we're gone today. We're out of there right now. But the planning would have taken a year before that. They had plenty of time to figure this out. There's no question about that. The Trump administration in particular, had plenty of time to start getting those people out of there. They didn't. And then when this administration came in, they just wanted to head for the exits.
They just wanted to head for the exits. And what the Trump administration was talking about early on, that's Mike Lyons. And listen, you may look at the Trump administration and say and not want to say anything negative about them with regard to this, and I understand. But at the same time, when people have brought this up to me and say, "Well, what about Trump? It was Trump's idea. This whole issue started with Trump, and then now, the Biden administration just wants to." And trust me, I guarantee you that once it gets really ugly and video is shown, and you start to see things, bank on it, you'll start to hear people blame the former president because it was his idea that we do this. But and I know. One thing that I have confidence in the former president to believe that in the art of the deal, if you break the deal's off. In other words, getting out of Afghanistan under the former president and getting out of there and no more wars. I believe that if he felt like the Taliban weren't holding up to, quote unquote, their end of the bargain, because they were trying to make it seem like they were dealing and making bargains, right? And people were saying that, like, what's going on here? How do you deal with the Taliban? You can't trust them. That once that trust was broken, a Trump administration would be like, that's it. All bets are off. Sorry, we gave you the opportunity, but now we're going to have to keep people there, limited amount, at least air support for the Afghan troops. Something would have been done to change that. He would not let us look like this on the world stage. The Biden administration's like, not only are we getting out, but it's going to be a really embarrassing look. That's my take on it. But Mike Lyons was bringing up again in that interview a few weeks ago, as we were talking about it, that China fills this void, everybody. China's going to come in and fill this void. China's going to believe that if they want to go after Taiwan, go ahead. If Russia wants to go after Ukraine, why not? What do they have to fear from us? Because the way it's looking right now is that view of cutting and running, even though it's been 20 years, I know you're saying, how can that be? We've been there 20, well, that view of people being airlifted off roofs, I'll just say this. I would hate to think that the administration would do everything they can to keep that visual out to the detriment of the safety of U.S. forces, citizens, diplomats that are there in Afghanistan, just to make sure that there would be no photo op. It's a horrible situation all the way around. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can watch anytime you want and subscribe to the podcast. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Island Air. High-quality AC repair and installation. Online at islandairfl.com. Online at islandairefl.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Apparently, we're still getting a lot of food delivered. DoorDash says it booked a record number of orders in the second quarter. The company says its total orders rose 69% to 345 million. Airlines are expecting to go back to losing money.
Southwest says it expects revenue for August to be down between 15 to 20% compared to pre-COVID 2019. Frontier Airlines also expects its business to be impacted by the virus. Company guidance released last week said, and I quote, "We have noted softening in the level of bookings over seasonal norms that we believe is directly related to the increased COVID-19 case numbers associated with the Delta variant."
Fox's David Lee Miller. The markets got positive Thursday. The Dow finished up by about 15 points. The S&P up 13. The NASDAQ up by 51. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jill Nato, invested in you.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career, including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East, would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
Things seem to get more expensive as the years go by. Take groceries. Prices are up by 36%. And keeping up with your health, that's up too by 54%. But did you know at FPL what you pay for energy has gone down 10% over the last 15 years? And they're not cutting corners either. They're investing in energy that's not just the most reliable or the cleanest, but also the most affordable. See how we're keeping your bill lower than most states at fpl.com/value.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive, but that's not all. We have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com. I love my GV80 and you'll love it too.
All offers with approved credit on select models based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months at $0 per month for 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code PICKUP for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code PICKUP for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PICKUP.
Really? Selling your home? Whether you need to move because of work, moving up, or downsizing, there's a ton of stuff to worry about when selling your home. Asking too much or too little? What about home inspections, paperwork, negotiating? There's only one thing to do. Call the listing realtors that know it all. The Morrison Renault team with United Real Estate Infinity. Call 239-246-7859. They handled it all. That's 239-246-7859.
It's Kaylee Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Do you want to know a secret? I know more about air conditioning than a lot of the so-called technicians in this business, and I'm just a kid. Kobe Cooling is voted the best AC company year after year because we use real NATE certified mechanics and not sales techs. We give you the best trained team in South Florida on every call. Don't take a chance with your indoor comfort and air quality. Call us at Kobe Cooling at 239-482-1542. Again, at 239-482-1542. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense, no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Celebrate your accomplishments with a previously enjoyed Rolex watch from Duncan's Diamonds. From sporty to dress models.
Hi, I'm Stuart Duncan, and here at Duncan's Diamonds, we have the finest previously enjoyed Rolexes available.
We make the process easy, beginning with the guidance of our expert consultants.
Why buy a new Rolex at full price when you can buy the exact same watch, only a few years older, certified, fixed up, refurbished with a 2-year warranty? And our knowledgeable staff will make your experience as memorable as your timepiece. Come to Duncan's Diamonds today and leave confident you will receive the highest quality at the best possible prices. We will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and you can count on that.
Duncan's Diamonds. Come celebrate with the Rolex of your dreams. Naples at Mercado, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Fort Myers on US 41. Find your own one-of-a-kind jewelry.
Wink News, traffic.
Pretty clear start right now for your morning commute. We're dealing with one crash, very minor though, and it looks like it's pushed into a racetrack gas station on Bonita Beach Road, just off of Old 41 right near Furlong Street. So watch out for some activity. No roadblock, no injuries out there though. Looking good along the rest of Bonita Beach Road, up and down I-75. Not seeing any slowdowns or construction zones lingering for the morning commute. 41 looking good with no major problem spots out there as well. And the bridges between Cape Coral and Fort Myers only taking about 2 to 3 minutes to cross in each direction. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day with scattered thunderstorms developing yet again for this afternoon, with temperatures pushing to near 93 degrees and a few thunderstorms certainly lingering on into your Friday evening plans. All eyes on Fred as we head into the upcoming weekend, with Fred expected to pass just offshore of us as a tropical storm as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Fred primarily will be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida, though we could see some elevated winds with gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. Rainfall totals between 1 to 3 inches with locally heavier amounts will be possible, with certainly flooding being a potential as the system passes just offshore of us. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Collier County that extend up through the Englewood area. Make sure you stay tuned to updates. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
When listening to the radio in your car, remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
All right, guys, who's excited about getting home today and finding out that your AC is now broken and it is 90 degrees outside?
Not me.
Matt and Justin here with Island Air with some great news for all of Southwest Florida. When the time comes to replace your old, outdated air conditioning system, you don't have to pull from any of your fund money to do so.
Many of our customers have had to sacrifice their vacation because of replacement of their air conditioning systems.
Now, for a limited time, we are including a vacation voucher with the purchase of your new home air conditioning system, redeemable for cruises and luxury condos in many countries around the world.
Please take the opportunity to let Island Air take you to the islands or many other places around the world.
Rather than stressing about whether or not your air conditioning system is going to make it, call us today to find out more details on how to claim your voucher. Call 239-466-8668.
Call 466-8668 for more details.
License number CAC 057544.
We believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. We can help you determine how much risk you're taking, red flags that could be potential problems for you, how much you're paying in fees or commissions, potential tax liability, or even how to address Social Security.
Tune in to WealthWorks Radio with Eric Carney every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
Hello, I'm Brian Resney, president of Resney Wealth Management and host of the Resney Wealth Report and TV show on the weekends. Investors come to my TV and radio shows to learn and to get educated so they can make better decisions about their retirement and their portfolio. What's your risk management strategy? Are you willing to subject your portfolio to another massive decline in a set it and forget it strategy, or are you looking for a difference? Listen to my show Sunday mornings, 10 to noon on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later. Because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Hodges Funeral Home at Naples Memorial Gardens. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
Abbott Hill in Naples is your one-stop shop for every aspect of your remodeling and renovation projects. Their team is committed to providing innovative solutions with the highest quality products. Abbott Hill offers from modern European style to furniture-grade, authentic, handmade old Amish cabinetry. Each piece is made with the highest quality solid woods and traditional construction methods for your new kitchen, office, entertainment wall, vanities, and built-ins. A large selection of unique porcelain tiles, including top designers like Roberto Cavalli, and an exclusive collection of large format slabs and tiles from Versace Ceramics.
Hi, I'm Peter, the owner of Abbott Hill. Please come see my showroom located on 5880 Shirley Street in Naples, or call 239-260-5246.
If you're in the market to update your kitchen, bathroom, or floors, Abbott Hill is offering free kitchen design consultation and 20% off countertops with the purchase of kitchen cabinetry. Abbott Hill, returning the quality of yesterday and leaving you smiling for years to come.
After Drew, it's Glenn Beck 9 till noon. You've come to the right place. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steve.
Fall will be here before we know it. So now the time's right for the first ever pumpkin spice vaccine from Pfizer. all the protection of the vaccine, but each shot has the aroma of pumpkin spice.
All right.
And comes with a free pair of Ugg boots. Finally, the time is right for pumpkin spice and Pfizer.
Oh, you seriously? Really? All right. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that. I mean, everything's got pumpkin spice in it. Why not have a Pfizer vaccine that's got a pumpkin spice smell? I mean, that would be kind of nice. At least you'd have a little bit of comfort. It would be like a warm hug. Do you? I refuse to buy anything pumpkin spice just because of how they pumpkin spiced everything. Oh, and by the way, if you've been to some stores, the Christmas stuff is already rolling out. The Christmas stuff is already rolling out. This is the new. Did you know that? The new thing now is August is the Christmas rollout. They're already out there. Why? Why?
There's no other holidays.
There's plenty of things coming. Thanksgiving comes before Christmas.
I'm aware.
I know. Don't say that there's nothing else.
No, it's what it seems like it.
Well, that's the way they make. Yeah, it's just awful. Hey, speaking of the Pfizer vaccine, are you ready for your booster? Hey, if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet and you're getting ready to get one, just be prepared that you're also going to have to get boosters because Dr. Fauci confirmed the Fauci said it. And if the Fauci said it, then you know that that's the kingmaker right there. At some time in the future, everyone's going to likely need a booster shot. Well, here's what they're calling a wake-up call at Zero Hedge. Pfizer's vaccine is only now 42% effective against infection in the month of July. Axios had this report. They printed a study, grabbed the attention of top Biden administration officials over the vaccine's effectiveness against the new variants. And the study found that the Pfizer vaccine, are you a Pfizer guy, a Moderna, or a J&J? Who are you? What are you? Well, the Pfizer vaccine was only 42% effective against infection in July when the Delta variant was dominant. Vaccines provide robust, yet lower than advertised immunity early, but then they drop in efficacy over time. So if you're getting one or you've got one, then when they start talking about the boosters, it looks like you're going to have to start thinking about it if you're rolling with the vax. Isn't that what the kids say? Wasn't there a song called "Rolling with the Vax"? Is that no?
I don't.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know because
I don't know either.
All right, good. You're more down with the Utes. Although it has yet to be peer reviewed. Hey, wouldn't it be nice to have things that would come out, stories that would come out that would be peer reviewed? I mean, there's a lot of maybes, and it may do something, and we might have an issue. You know, when you have something that's peer reviewed, you go through the science and the data and you check it all out. Typically, that's when you say, all right, well, maybe there's something there. But this is yet to be peer reviewed. The study raises serious questions about both vaccines' long-term effectiveness, particularly Pfizer's. It's unclear whether results signify a reduction in effectiveness over time, a reduced effectiveness against Delta, or a combination of both. So they're going to bring on the boosters with non-peer-reviewed work, and you're just going to have to roll with it. Again, I'm not suggesting that it is so difficult to trust the media and Dr. Fauci and others when all the science and the data keeps changing because, you know, science and data changes all the time. I mean, it's up and down and sideways and backwards and mask and double mask. By the way, they're asking you, if you're unvaccinated, to double mask in Philadelphia. Not single mask, but now you have to double mask because of all the information that we have about double masking. We don't, but it doesn't matter because peer reviews or science and data for some people just means power and it doesn't mean anything else. I'm just asking. I had this conversation with my wife yesterday about a lot of these issues with some of the studies that are out there and the people that we can trust and we can't trust. And I'll give you 2 examples. Are you ready? Here we go. Why is it that there's so many people who seem to want to give scientific answers to questions with maybes? I got to see if I can. Hold on a second. I'm off camera. Hold on a second. I got to see if I can find this. Do you trust a doctor, a scientist, a study that says maybe something might happen? I mean, wouldn't you want to look at the science and data and say, according to this, yeah, this is where we're going? There's a lot of maybes. Somebody sent me as I was talking yesterday about issues of vaccines and efficacy and the concerns that I have about media and how you can barely trust anybody. And I've got an issue of trust coming up in just a second you're not going to believe. That has to do with the CDC. Oh, yeah, this one's unreal. Hopkins Medicine, COVID-19 vaccines, myth versus fact. So they go through all of these different myths, and then they give you the facts. And one of the facts is they were talking about was this myth about people who have gotten sick with COVID-19. If you've already had the vid, should you get the vaccine? And their fact from Hopkins on facts versus myth from Hopkins Medicine, John Hopkins, is here's their fact on that. People who have gotten sick with COVID-19 may still benefit from getting vaccinated. Due to the severe health risks associated with COVID and the fact that reinfection with COVID is possible, people may be advised to get a COVID-19 vaccine, even when, if they have been sick with COVID before. May? So they may not. So I don't want to get a shot if I've already had the vid. Is that okay with you at Johns Hopkins? No, you should, because it may help. I mean, aren't we past the point in a lot of places where mays, maybe, it might, I think so, we should, because I'm thinking it might be a bit, mask mandates. I think we should, we kind of, why not? But we don't have any science and data to prove, but I think that it's a good idea. I'm just asking you, there's a certain point where you have to say, hey, can you show me all the science and the data that says yes or no, because maybes don't work for me. That's just me personally. I don't know how you feel about that. You might feel differently. 239-479-5592. Hey, if you're wondering why we have a really hard time trusting the CDC, trusting the NIH, Dr. Fauci, and some of the things that they say, I'll give you a reason right now. I might give you 2 reasons right now. Are you ready for 2 reasons? Here's 2 reasons for you. Watch this. The double standards and the hypocrisy of the left is maddening. And when you have bureaucracies that are political, everything is political. Everything's political. Everything's political. Even bureaucracy. No. The CDC would never be political. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. So on the heels of Gavin Newsom traveling out of state to campaign for Biden, and when he told everybody they couldn't leave the state, sending his kids to a maskless camp, going to a restaurant with staff members and people when everybody else couldn't go to a restaurant and had to wear a mask, when you have all the hypocrisy of people who are telling you not to do things and then they go do it themselves, like you got to wear a mask, triple mask, even if you're vaccinated, and then Chris Cuomo is found to be in a nightclub just the other night, maskless with a bunch of people drinking and having a great time. Yeah, that video's out there recently. Dr. Rochelle Walensky is the CDC director. She took over in January, right? Anthony Fauci is like, this is the person we need to have, a trustworthy individual when it comes to the vaccines and efficacies and mask mandates. So Red State did a little investigation on some of the connections that the CDC has with certain individuals and entities. Scott Hounsell was looking at this. Turns out that the CDC director is married to an individual who seems to want to up the hypocrisy. It turns out that not only did her husband's business dealings allow him to get, as a 4-month-old business, multi-million-dollar grants from the HHS in 2020, including a tip that was additional information regarding a get-together hosted by Dr. Lauren Walensky in June 2021. Well, what do you mean? Lauren Walensky, CDC Walensky's husband, is a pediatric oncologist in Boston. Pretty impressive career, understands the medical field. He's a medical guy. He's a pediatric oncologist. Yeah, it turns out in June of 2021, he was at a big old party with a whole bunch of folks, kids, as a matter of fact, in all different ages. June 27th, he's also seen in Boston at a Red Sox game with a former student. None of them were masked up, but plenty of pictures to go around. You need to mask up. Safety and efficacy is important. I'm a doctor. I know what's going on. But all of my friends and family, nobody's got a mask on. I know I'm going to a game, a Boston Red Sox game, no masks, lots of pictures. There's a lot of hypocrisy out there is what I'm saying. And then on the heels of all of this comes a comment that CDC Director Walensky made yesterday. And again, another reason why it's really hard to trust people at the CDC. This is me personally. You make your own decision. But for me personally, when I hear the CDC director talking about the issue of booster shots and vaccines for who?
This week, we are taking 2 important steps in encouraging and improving vaccine protection for Americans.
Okay.
First, for pregnant people who are at higher risk of severe illness from COVID-19.
Oh, wait. For who?
For pregnant people.
For pregnant people. The CDC Director Walensky wants pregnant people to know that they need to get the vaccine and it's okay for them to get it, as that they are pregnant and they're concerned about it. Well, absolutely. Pregnant people. Not women that are pregnant, but pregnant people. It's really hard for me to take seriously a CDC director who calls women who are pregnant the only people who can get pregnant, full stop. It's biology. Pregnant people. It seems like that would be for political reasons. Right? I mean, why else would you do that? If you're married to a doctor, a pediatric oncologist, and I would venture to guess that a pediatric oncologist sees all kinds of things that have to do with the issues of cancer and horrible diseases and things, and would certainly want to mask up, especially when around other kids and families, but doesn't. But that's kind of weird that you would be married to somebody who would know a thing or two about probably epidemiology and medicine and the like. You do realize that it's women get pregnant. That's it. Period. Full stop. Right? It's pregnant people.
For pregnant people.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to take you seriously. But no politics here. Everything's by the board, as it were. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. You could watch the program right now if you would like, and we appreciate it. And subscribe to the podcast. It's there as well. It's 1 click away at drewsteele.com, the website. You can go there, like I said, now. All right, we're keeping an eye on Fred. We are going to get a update throughout the morning. We keep an eye on what's going on with weather. Are we doing that right now? Good, okay. So we're going to get the latest on Fred and what is happening for this weekend. Keeping an eye on it. And traffic. Let's go to Therese O'Shea. She's got that right now.
Good Friday morning. Dealing with a crash right now in Lehigh Acres at Alabama Road and Milwaukee Boulevard. No injuries reported at that scene, but we do have some debris from the crash scattered along Alabama Road and seeing delays southbound on Alabama approaching State Road 82 just south of the crash itself. Another crash we're watching in Lehigh on 23rd Street Southwest causing westbound delays heading toward Gunnery Road off of Susan Avenue. We also have an accident on Bonita Beach Road at I-75. No roadblock, no injuries there. Looks like everything should be off to the side. A little bit of eastbound volume building on Bonita Beach Road passing through the interstate. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day, but scattered thunderstorms develop yet again for this afternoon with highs pushing to near 93 degrees. All eyes on the track of Fred as we head into this upcoming weekend, which should primarily be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida. Expect some elevated winds. Tropical storm watches now in effect from Collier County up through the Englewood area. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Southwest Florida homeowners. Home values are up and interest rates are down, which means now is a great time for a mortgage checkup. This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse. Many of you listening might have purchased or refinanced your home within the past year, so your mortgage could be the last thing on your mind. However, the real estate market has changed quite a bit in 2021, which means your home has likely increased in value. More equity in your home means there has never been a better time to get cash out for home improvements. You could also qualify for a lower mortgage rate with our no closing cost refinance loan, and for some, more equity in your home means you can eliminate mortgage insurance. Mortgage Warehouse is Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader. No points, no hidden fees, no closing cost, period. Give us a quick call today at 313-5000. That's 313-5000, mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Listen, you've heard me talk about my friends at Pentair Water Solutions, right? Pelican Water is now Pentair Water Solutions. The pros, you've got water issues. We all have. You live in Southwest Florida. Of course you have an issue with your water, whether it's Wells City, you know you do. The chlorine, skin and hair drying out, and faucets and shower glass all over. You understand all of this. But there's something that you can do about it. It's a big difference with the Pentair water test. They use the same equipment as the EPA so that you can see the results. They print out right in front of you. You get a recommendation that you can trust. I'm telling you, they've got this handled. And it's for you and your family, and you know how important it is. You're going to love the Pentair factory direct price. Big difference. With Pentair, there's never any sales pressure. And it's so easy to find out what's in your home's water. So why not call now and find out? Get your free digital Pentair water test today. 239-880-7799. You're going to love the way your water tastes from every single faucet, and so is your family. Book online if you'd like at pentair.com/FortM. That's pentair.com/FortM.
True relief for back and neck pain. Back or neck pain is not just unpleasant, it can be debilitating, preventing you from performing your daily routine and even confining you to bed. In decades past, patients suffering from spinal issues were often just given pain medication, spinal injections, and when they did not heal, often underwent spinal surgery. Luckily, there is now another option, non-surgical spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we use an advanced technology to apply a completely safe unloading force to relieve nerve compression associated with bulging herniated discs, sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, neuropathy. This award-winning approach, safe for any age, has gained international praise from physicians for its success. Complete pain relief is achievable. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get the answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with Grace, a Tri-Found company, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you that Nikki Fried, as she is running for governor of the state of Florida, that 2022 is a big, big, big year in politics here in the state. It's, some would say, huge. That she's dreaming of a president, Ron DeSantis. I'm telling you, it's in her dreams. It's haunting her. It's in her thought process, even when she doesn't realize it.
We're seeing Republicans across the state backing up this president, because, this governor. My God, that's a Freudian slip there.
There's Nikki Fried with the Freudian slip of the week. She's talking about how awful Ron DeSantis is, and Florida's a disaster, and it's just dogs and cats getting along all over town. It's just this place that you can't even, don't move here. Just don't move to the state until I get into office. It's awful. She called Ron DeSantis the president. Yes, that is quite the Freudian slip.
We're seeing Republicans across the state backing up this president because, this governor. My God, that's a Freudian slip there.
Oh boy, is it? I'll tell you what. It's maybe
Marijuana?
I'm just saying that's she's running on that whole thing. That's our whole. It's marijuana. Just okay. Nikki Fried. Hey, speaking of the soon-to-be president, according to it's what Nikki Fried said. I'm just repeating what she says. Speaking of Nikki Fried and talking about the soon-to-be president, Ron DeSantis. So the Florida Board of Education looks like it's making its next move against school districts that are breaking the law. We got the Parents' Bill of Rights allows for parents to opt into these wearing masks in schools, but that's all right. There's some districts that are like Alachua and Broward we don't care what you say, Governor. It doesn't make it. We don't care what you've signed. We don't care what the legislature has signed off on. Doesn't make a difference to us. So apparently today, the word is from Red State, the State Board of Education announces an emergency meeting, all persons invited, coming up next week. They're going to get together, consider the compliance of school districts, including Broward and Alachua, with the Parents' Bill of Rights and the Departments of Health emergency rule. Commissioner of Education expected to report his findings, probable cause or a finding of no probable cause with these districts. So, listen, they are getting together, and this is what I talked about yesterday. Masks optional. You've got that choice in the district. Some are saying we are demanding that the kids wear masks, and we don't care what the legislature or this governor has signed off on. We're going rogue, if you will. And the governor is going to have to push back, and he is. And he has to continue to do this because they can't win. They just can't.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
It's back to school time, so here's a lesson in saving a lot of money. The Back to School Swap is at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Thursday through Sunday only. Swap out your old car for a nicer, newer one and get more for your trade. 130% book value. Want to know how much your car's worth? Click SutherlandBuysIt.com right now. You'll get a top dollar offer for your old vehicle, whether you buy from us or not. We'll buy your car. Click SutherlandBuysIt.com. Trade-in values are so high right now that you can drive a nicer, newer vehicle and pay less each month. Or just swap out your vehicle for cold, hard cash. Don't be late to save. The back-to-school swap ends this Sunday. Get 130% book value only at Florida's #1 Nissan dealer. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. And remember, if you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
You finally reached your savings goal, but even while you're celebrating, questions start to pop up. How much will you really spend in retirement? What about the impact of taxes? Because, changes are coming. At Annex Wealth Management, we understand the uncertainty you're feeling. You're not alone. A recent study shows that more than 1/3 of retirees underestimated how much they'd spend. Then there's the impact of rising healthcare costs. There's so many parts to a well-crafted investment and retirement plan that includes tax and estate planning. You're smart enough to know you don't have all the answers. That also means you're smart enough to know where to get help. Now is the time to act, and there's a partner ready to roll up sleeves and get to work on your behalf. The team at Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen, review what you've got with our complimentary portfolio review, and put a plan in place for you and your family. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary on your side. One team, one plan, one fee. AnnexWealth.com.
This is 92.5 WFSX Estero, Fox News. Right all along. On the radio, on your smart speaker, and online at rightallalong.net.
Some Americans are getting a boost. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As new COVID cases top 100,000 yet again yesterday in a surge to a 6-month high. The FDA authorizes yet another dose of vaccine for a select few. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has an update live.
Dave, the Centers for Disease Control's Independent Advisory Committee will meet today to consider recommending boosters for organ transplant recipients and others with weakened immune systems. Dr. Rochelle Walensky is head of the CDC.
An additional dose could help increase protection for these individuals which is especially important as the Delta variant spreads.
The FDA okayed Pfizer and Moderna booster shots. They're recommended just for the immunocompromised at this point, not the general public. Dave?
Rachel, COVID-related hospitalizations and deaths have also been rising, with Florida hit hard. And now this from Broward County.
Just days before students are set to head back to class, the president of the county's teachers union announced that 3 teachers and 1 assistant died from the virus. All were in their 40s and 50s. At least one had a pre-existing condition that prevented her from getting vaccinated.
Fox's Rob Dawson. The Taliban's taken over more provincial capitals in Afghanistan. The militants have seized 15 now, including the big cities of Kandahar and Herat, as U.S. troops complete a withdrawal this month.
The onslaught comes as part of a week-long blitz. And while Kabul isn't directly under threat yet, the military is not wasting time sending 3,000 troops into Kabul to help U.S. Embassy personnel and other Americans there evacuate the country.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. More than 212,000 migrants were stopped trying to cross the U.S. illegally last month. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas went to Texas, calling it challenging, but Fox's Griff Jenkins reports.
Behind closed doors, in this leaked audio talking to Border Patrol agents, Mayorkas says the situation is more dire than he is publicly willing to admit.
This is unsustainable. These numbers cannot continue.
Mayorkas says they're also considering policy options. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink Good Friday morning. Traffic. Right now with some debris scattered on Alabama Road South at Milwaukee Boulevard and Lehigh Acres. Another crash in Lehigh over at 23rd Street Southwest and Susan Avenue. Starting to get cleared up now. A crash in Buckingham at Palm Beach Boulevard and Buckingham Road. That's right near Riverdale High School, causing trouble now for multiple day in a row. We've had issues at that intersection, especially since school has started. If you're heading out through Collier County, we do have a crash with injuries along Vanderbilt Beach Road, right near that I-75 overpass close to Oaks Boulevard. So watch out for some activity there. No injuries, at least, is the good news. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day with scattered thunderstorms developing yet again for this afternoon, with temperatures pushing to near 93 degrees and a few thunderstorms certainly lingering on into your Friday evening plans. All eyes on Fred as we head into the upcoming weekend, with Fred expected to pass just offshore of us as a tropical storm as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Fred primarily will be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida, though we could see some elevated winds with gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. Rainfall totals between 1 to 3 inches with locally heavier amounts will be possible, with certainly flooding being a potential as the system passes just offshore of us. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Collier County that extend up through the Englewood area. Make sure you stay tuned to updates. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Whether you're commuting to the office or driving to the beach, always stay to the right with 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Hi, I'm Ty Laster, managing partner and CEO of Key City Capital. My family and I are putting down roots right here in Southwest Florida and are so happy to be a part of this community. We hope to meet you out at one of the country clubs or walking the town center or out on one of the beautiful beaches or parks. So why are we Key City Capital here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all of our partners through passive real estate investments. And very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
If you're looking for significant returns from real estate and alternative investments without any risk of loss to your principal and without all the work of collecting rent or worrying about stock market volatility, call us today at 239-330-2080. That's 239-330-2080. Or check us out online today at kcap925.com. That's kcap925.com.
Well, is the little pill working yet?
Men, these days could be a thing of the past. Hello, this is Dr. Lou Spangler at Neogenics.
Recent advances in non-surgical treatment for erectile dysfunction, combining high-frequency shockwave therapy with the P-shot, which utilizes platelet-rich plasma, can help restore your virility. These treatments help restore blood flow to the penis and rejuvenate penile tissues, resulting in longer, stronger, firmer, more satisfying erections. Both treatments are simple, in-office procedures, and there is no pain and no downtime. You can resume all normal activities immediately after treatment, including sexual activity. Men, you don't have to suffer anymore. If you have erectile dysfunction or simply want to improve your sexual function, call Neogenics at 239-277-9999 for a free consultation. That's Neogenics at 277-9999. Again, 277-9999.
County Commissioner Kevin Ruane is fighting to protect our water quality. The Army Corps of Engineers has announced their new plan for the management of Lake Okeechobee, which will result in even more harmful discharges into the Caloosahatchee River. Kevin Ruane says no. Kevin is fighting against this plan, which protects the East Coast while harming our local waterways. He's leading the charge for modifications to balance flows to both coasts and to utilize the additional storage capacity in Lake Okeechobee now that $2 billion of repairs have been made to the Herbert Hoover Dike. Kevin Ruane knows that we should not bear the brunt of the effects from discharges while the East Coast gets none. He understands that if this plan is not modified, it will affect the quality of life, our real estate values, and our economy. We can't afford another water crisis. This is about more than just water quality. It's about our community, our children, our grandchildren, and our economy. We can count on County Commissioner Kevin Ruane to fight for us. Sponsored by Friends of Kevin Ruane, 1375 Jackson Street, number 202, Fort Myers, Florida, 33901.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida, Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching at the website and subscribing to the podcast. Your favorite podcast locations has the show. You can go to drewsteele.com, and there's a link right there so you can click and quickly get to the podcast. Obviously, continuing to keep an eye on the tropics and tropical storm alerts and Depression Fred and what's going on there. And Fred creeping along our way, 35 mile an hour sustained, west-northwest at 10 miles an hour, and got a little wrecked as it went over there south of us, but making its way to the warmer waters of the Florida Straits and heading our way. But again, we've got Week News meteorologists, Casey Sherman, Matt Devitt, and so many others who are tracking, keeping an eye on all of this as we get through the morning and the day. And just in case you're wondering, currently the track has us going north of Cuba before moving into the Straits and then making a turn to the north. And like I said, we will discuss this more as we get more information throughout the morning, keeping an eye on this Fred, tropical depression. And Casey's been doing a fantastic job. She's been coming in, so we'll have another update in just a bit. So some other things that are going on this morning, on the heels of what we're trying to accomplish with the media is really honest-to-goodness journalism, which we don't get, which we never see. And a journalist as opposed to an opinion writer. Everybody sees the difference, right? You know the difference between somebody who hears about a story, digs into the details of the story, and then says, here are the facts about this story, both sides, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as opposed to somebody who will take something on the surface, look at it, have an opinion already formed about that person or this situation, and then automatically put that in as if it's news, journalism, facts. That's what the media has been doing to us for far too long. And some good news out there, finally, with Project Veritas. There's always a lot of good news when it comes to James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. They do a great job going after the New York Times. Guess what? Well, it appears that the New York Times now has some issues because a court there in New York delivered the James O'Keefe run Project Veritas a big victory. Justice Charles Wood of the Supreme Court of New York in Westchester County ruled that the New York Times motion to dismiss the defamation lawsuit against them by Project Veritas was denied. It's a big deal. It's one of these things that may fly under the radar with all the news that's going on today, but I'm telling you, it is a big deal. It all started because Project Veritas was uncovering Minnesota ballot harvesting, and they saw this that was going on, and it was labeled as deceptive. They brought a lawsuit against the Times, and the Times wanted to defend itself and says, no, you don't understand. The person that was writing this article, even though they said that the work by Project Veritas was deceptive, discovering this ballot harvesting that was going on in Minnesota. No, we put it in the news section of the New York Times, not the opinion section of the New York Times, but the news section of the New York Times. And what they were saying, the New York Times, is that no, our writer of the piece, Maggie Astor, was stating a, quote, unverifiable expression of opinion. The problem is, if you're doing that, you've got to be an opinion writer in an opinion piece in the section of the paper. You can't put this out as news, and the court agreed with that you can't do it. It was printed in the news section. If a writer interjects an opinion in a news article and will seek to claim legal protections as opinion, it stands to reason that the writer should have an obligation to alert the reader that it's opinion. You should be telling us, New York Times, that you're giving us an opinion here. But they don't do it. They do this all the time. The one thing that Project Veritas decided to do was go, no way. No way. And the court agreed. And this happens a lot. They'll make claims about investigations. Oh, it's right wing, it's extremist. Mike Lindell and the things that he's doing with regards to election integrity. And this is just crazy. And the news going on and on and on about how crazy he is by looking into what's going on in Maricopa County until you start to see some of the numbers that are happening in Maricopa County. And you're like, that doesn't seem right. Can you do this? Can you debunk what he's saying as opposed to commenting on your opinions as why you think it's fake news? Like, isn't that what we should be doing? That's the bottom line with this. In a lot of different things in life, and it's really simple. I have no problem with anybody and everybody being primaried. I have no problem with a Republican, a staunch conservative, whether it's a congressman, whether it's somebody locally, municipalities, whether it's at a state level. I have no problem with people being primaried. The reason why is because if you are strong, if your foundation is strong, if you stand on terra firma, if the things you are saying understand the Constitution and the rule of law, and you've been making really good decisions, then bring it. As someone on the Broward County School Board would say, bring it. Governor DeSantis, go ahead, bring a lawsuit, whatever you want to do against us. They did that. We played the audio yesterday. But why not? Because if you're in good standing, then a primary is just going to be somebody else spending money and wasting their time and reinforcing what we already know about you because you have the proof as to what you're doing. And maybe if there's something that needs to be tweaked, a decision that you made was a wrong decision, then it helps to tweak and notice and have people look at this decision that many people may feel was not the right one and tweak it to make it better. It doesn't erase your whole being. It just means it's to make you better. It makes you stronger. It's the same thing with the New York Times and MSNBC and CNN and others who want to quickly go after people under the guise of, you're a racist and Islamophobe, and by the way, on top of all of that, you're lying and you're just, and they make up all these excuses, they make up all of these names, they go after people personally, but then we're asking the fundamental question. What's your answer to election integrity numbers that people are looking at and saying, I spent a whole lot of money and time on all of this. These numbers aren't working out. Can you fight this? Hey, I'm concerned about some of the things that are being said about maybe therapeutics or maybe issues with masking and the like. And I'm looking at some numbers. And can you dispute this, or can you only call me some kind of fascist or right-wing tinfoil hat conspiracy? Can you just, why don't you dispute the numbers? Why don't you come back with your answer to this, with science, with data, with information, and then you've beaten me at the game, which is on information, which is about the truth. So you can beat me with the truth, right? Unless you can't. Another perfect example of how that doesn't happen is Joy Reid just the other night. That you, if you are somebody who voted for Trump, supports DeSantis, if you're on the right, let's say, of center, just a little teeny little bit, maybe you're a conservative, maybe you believe in the founding of this country and our founders and the rule of law, yeah, then boy, are you really a bad person. Maybe even deranged. Did you hear any of this from MSNBC and Joy Reid just the other day? No, of course you didn't, because you're not listening to it. But boy, you people are awful on all kinds of things, whether it's COVID, DeSantis, Trump, Republican. Trust me.
My pinned tweet on Twitter says exactly that the Republican Party, Representative Swalwell, is harboring that insurgency. And it is a white nationalist insurgency. Let's just be blunt. You have to work with people who pretty much have that on in their offices all day and think that is mainstream beliefs. You work with these people, Congressman. Do you feel comfortable and safe working with people who, at minimum, are willing to live with that kind of fascism and white nationalism in their party?
Talking about Fox News spouting right replacement theory. So they're trying to fight critical race theory by claiming that Fox News is a bunch of white supremacists and everybody who listens is white supremacists, and pretty much you have no problem with following the orders of Trump, who's sitting behind the scenes pulling the. I mean, it's twisted and deranged where she's going, but that's what they're doing. They're not giving you facts or science or data. They're just spewing hate because that's the answer. Hey, what do you think about what's going on with mask mandates with kids? Well, the science and data doesn't exist, and I'm concerned about my individual rights and freedoms, and I'm just looking for the information, and I believe that kids should be able to opt out when it comes to masks in schools. You're a jerk. That's it. That's how that's how liberals work. You see that, right? I say Democrats, but I don't know if every Democrat's on board with that. Maybe they are. But that's how liberalism works. You give them the science, the data, the information, the truth and facts, and then they call you a jerk. Okay, and that's it. All right, I'm supposed to run with that. No, we don't. But again, it goes back to the media and what they've done. And a good example of how journalism works and doesn't work, and how dangerous it could be, and how awful people who claim to be journalists but really are just opinion writers and interject their opinions into articles without going through the whole story is something that popped up on Substack. Ian Leslie on his Substack, who was talking about Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper. You remember the video that was taken in Central Park in May of 2020. And he was talking about how Barry Weiss, who used to work for the New York Times, conservative until Barry Weiss was like, I can't work here anymore. I just can't do this. Had a podcast and was talking about right after May of 2020 in Central Park, that incident with Amy Cooper. Everybody remembers that incident. That was the one where she was freaked out because there was an African-American that was looking at her and her dog in Central Park. And she said, I'm going to call the police and say there's an African-American that's harassing me. And I'm going to get, and everybody was jumping on that. Oh my gosh, this is awful. How could she say something like that? And it was not a good thing to say. And she got fired from her job and all kinds of things going on. But as bad as that was in that video and what you were watching and witnessing as it was taking place, there was more to the story that people left out. And why would you do that? And Ian Leslie in this Substack article was talking about that specifically. How much do you know about the whole story? What if news organizations reporting on this switch the angle? Instead of looking at this on the surface, the angle being the surface and going, oh my gosh, there's a white woman saying that there's an African-American who's going to harass her and she's going to make a call because she's afraid of this person, and ran with that and didn't do any investigation into the lead up or what happened before and after, and just ran with that narrative, which the media did in this case. What if they switched the angle and said, hey, let's go through the whole thing and find out exactly what happened? And so this is what Barry Weiss was talking in the Substack article, which I want to read a little bit to you because it's important. What a different narrative you would have if you'd see the whole picture, as opposed to the opinion that is given by a quote-unquote journalist on what they believe. Amy Cooper's walking her dog in the morning and wandering into a secluded part of Central Park with nobody else in sight. She lets her dog off the leash, and suddenly she hears a man bellowing at her. She turns around and sees the man, that is this Christian Cooper man, acting annoyed with her. When she failed to comply immediately with his instruction to tether her dog, he made an ambiguous threat. He said, if you're going to do what you want to do, then I'm going to do what I want to do, but you're not going to like it. Amy was trying to process this when the man did something weird. He took some dog treats out of his knapsack and started to call the dog over to him. In the other hand, he held a bike helmet in a way that made Amy wonder if he planned to attack her dog or her with it. We don't just have her word for this. Christian described himself threatening her like this, using the exact words in a Facebook post he wrote about the incident prior to the video going viral. So he said it. If you're going to do what you want to do, then I'm going to do what I want to do, but you're not going to like it. He said it. It's not like she dreamed this up. In fact, this wasn't the first time that Christian had used such a tactic. Amy had accidentally walked into the middle of a polarized battle between dog walkers and bird watchers that had been rumbling on for years in Central Park and indeed other city parks across the country. In New York, Christian was known by locals as one of its most energetic combatants. Foster tracks down other dog walkers, including a black man, who got almost exactly the same treatment from Christian, right down to the gripping of the bike helmet, and who found it intimidating for the same reason. So there was somebody who was looking into this story, named Foster, who was going into this and finding dog walkers and saying, oh, yeah, we know that guy. He even went after a black man who he did the same thing to. So they know this. There is this battle going on between bird watchers and dog walkers in Central Park. It's been going on and intimidation that's been happening. Of course, from a woman alone, there's an extra dimension of peril. Amy, who was a victim of sexual assault while at college, was not performing distress. She was absolutely terrified. She was by herself in a secluded place with a hostile man who was acting erratically and threatening her. Put yourself in that position. How would you feel? From this angle, the moral polarity to the story seems somewhat different. It starts to sound almost like a Me Too incident. A man using his superior physical power to dominate an isolated woman. If you're going to do what you want to do, then I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but you're not going to like it. The media didn't even try to see it different. They accepted Christian's account of the incident uncritically and were uninterested in Amy's version. The New York Times reports on the story. They didn't even include the words he said prior to the clip we all saw, even though they had access to it. They knew the story. They had the full story and didn't give the full story in the New York Times. They only gave their version, their abridged version with their opinion of it put in there as opposed to the whole thing. And here's the point. It goes on that Barry Weiss doing this excellent job in asking a lot of these questions. The point is not actually Amy is good and Christian is bad. It's that the incident had been portrayed as a simplistic morality tale when the reality is much more complex and nuanced, and that this was a failure of journalism. It's flat out, and that's the answer. It's not that Amy Cooper is some good person and now Christian is the bad person. No, it's the fact that journalists have an obligation that when they hear a story about someone in a park who says something abhorrent to somebody and a racial comment and calling a police officer, give the whole story in context. That's your job as a journalist. Doesn't matter if it's about Trump or about a dog walker or about Biden or about Hunter Biden or anybody else. Give the whole story in context. It's important because this way we trust you because now we see where you're coming from and we can make our own informed decision along with you because you've given us the facts. Instead, time and time again, what journalists and newspapers do is they give us their opinion in the news section, and we're supposed to say to them, oh, okay, I trust that that is actually the news and the facts, when it's not the whole story. You're asking us to trust you, and you're not giving us the opportunity to do it. And that's another reason why this victory by Project Veritas was so important. because it's calling people like the New York Times out and saying, no, you don't get to have your opinion be news. Your opinion is opinion. And stop asking for us to trust you, news organizations, because you haven't earned it. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching and subscribing to the podcast there as well. There's a link where you can go and get that right now. Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. There's a reason they call tasteless, stale food leftovers. Feed your brain the right way. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our original gold-rimmed homemade vanilla. The country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at all Winn-Dixie supermarkets and Jerry's Foods Market on Sanibel Island.
It's Kaylee Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. We hear the term family business all the time, but what does that really mean? Well, at Kobe Cooling, it means that over half of our team members are related and our family. My mom and dad, Mimi and Pop, and my uncles, and my aunts. There's family everywhere. Oh yeah, folks, it's like a family reunion every day. When we say family business, we really mean it. So call Kobe Cooling at 239-482-1542. Again, at 239-482-1542. And support our local family business. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense, no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
Hi, Stuart Duncan here from Duncan's Diamonds. Now through the end of August, we're offering 60-month financing, so you can pick out any item, get the guaranteed best value and the best price, and spread your payments over 60 months.
Yes, it's a great month to come to Duncan's Diamonds. You will find the largest selection of diamonds and jewelry, access to thousands of jewelry styles. You will find 5 times the selection you would find in an ordinary jewelry store. Maybe you need a shop for Christmas early gift. Do not wait until the last minute. Or maybe you're getting engaged in the fall or upgrading her diamond.
Whatever the reason, we got you covered with the best selection and best prices. Take advantage of our incredible summer finance offer. 60-month payments. Indulge without breaking the bank. Come, celebrate your love with us and have a little more sparkle in your life.
Best price guarantee, low monthly payment, and a spectacular gift from Duncan's Diamonds. It is worth the drive to Duncan's Diamonds. Naples at Mercado, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Fort Myers on US 41.
At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, I strive to offer the highest level of care for those suffering with back and neck problems. With unparalleled service and our award-winning non-surgical spinal decompression approach, thousands of people have chosen us to treat their back or neck problems. If you are seeking lasting relief that is proven effective without needles or surgery, then call today to see if you may be a candidate. This completely safe treatment can be effective for many conditions, including sciatica, ruptured or herniated discs, facet syndrome, compressed nerves, arthritis, and spinal stenosis. Additionally, people who had failed back surgery in the past often find incredible relief from spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care, all our treatments are drug-free and non-surgical. We use new and comprehensive approaches that provide lasting relief. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with another interesting Florida fact. This week, almost 3 million Florida students went back to school. And this year we expect a 90% graduation rate. In Oregon, they just passed legislation to make their graduation rate 100%, but the wrong way. They removed the need for students to show they can read, write, and do math before getting a diploma. They call such requirements racist and say they hurt children of color. But what hurts children of color are liberals who treat them like they're stupid. Every child, regardless of skin color, deserves a chance to learn. Florida schools are marked by high standards, testing, and more choices for parents than any other state. And our schools are now ranked third in the nation for student achievement. Florida, no personal income tax, and a high school diploma worth having. Let's keep it that way. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News,
Good morning.
traffic.
Crash right now heading through Cape Coral, blocking a southbound left turn lane along 41 at Del Prado Boulevard. It's not causing any major backups out there, though, because everything is pretty much open in the right-hand and center lane. Southbound there on the highway. Northbound looking good as well. In Lehigh, we have a crash we're watching with roadblock. No injuries, though, on Leonard Boulevard, so watch out for some delays if you're heading through Leonard Boulevard South, especially in Lehigh. Also keeping an eye on an accident at Alabama Road South and Milwaukee Boulevard with debris still scattered across Alabama Road. In Collier County, I've got a crash. No injuries and doesn't look like much in the way of roadblock. Vanderbilt Beach Road and Oaks Boulevard right near that I-75 overpass. And a crash in Golden Gate, Collier Boulevard and 23rd Avenue Southwest. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day with scattered thunderstorms developing yet again for this afternoon, with temperatures pushing to near 93 degrees and a few thunderstorms certainly lingering on into your Friday evening plans. All eyes on Fred as we head into the upcoming weekend, with Fred expected to pass just offshore of us as a tropical storm as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Fred primarily will be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida, though we could see some elevated winds with gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. Rainfall totals between 1 to 3 inches with locally heavier amounts will be possible, with certainly flooding being a potential as the system passes just offshore of us. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Collier County that extend up through the Englewood area. Make sure you stay tuned to updates. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Does 92.5 Fox News have a live stream? You bet. Go to rightallalong.net.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their Wedding Band Expo this weekend, Saturday, August 14th and Sunday the 15th. America's top bridal designers will join the Diamond District with the largest selection of wedding bands, and Jason and Todd will give you 20% off manufacturer's direct pricing.
Hey, this is Papa with Casey, Carrie, and Cody. And as most of you know, when Irma hit in September of 2017, thousands of people tried unsuccessfully to call a roofing company, but all the roofers were so overwhelmed they could not handle or even answer those calls. Now here we are, 4 years later, and many of those same people are still waiting to have their roofs repaired. So we are implementing our proactive list. If you want to be on our list, call me for our free tolerance inspection. Once we inspect your roof, you will be on the proactive list. If or when the next storm hits, you will have no need to call any roofer because we will be calling you automatically to see if you need help. We can offer emergency repairs and tarp service or whatever your roof requires. Call Papa now for our free tolerance inspection, 945-2700. We believe it's wise to be proactive and it costs you nothing to join our list. Call Papa for our free tolerance inspection at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. License number CCC 1326213.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me, I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a good feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
We believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. We can help you determine how much risk you're taking, red flags that could be potential problems for you, how much you're paying in fees or commissions, potential tax liability, or even how to address Social Security.
Tune in to WealthWorks Radio with Eric Carney every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. You might have seen our matte gray trucks with blue and white lettering on the road. Just know that in every truck you see, there's a certified technician who is trained to repair your system, not just sell you a system. As always, you can chat with us online at getpureair.com. Also, please join me every Saturday at 11:30 for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Naples.
Hello, I'm Dave Harmer of First Class Air Conditioning, serving all of Southwest Florida since 1977. In a service industry like ours, customer satisfaction means everything. We post our customer service reviews up front at firstclassairconditioning.com. Our work and your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Call 239-574-2500.
First Class Air Conditioning. Our name says it all.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Have lunch with Clay and Buck at noon, right after Glenn Beck at 9. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching the program and also subscribing to the podcast. drewsteele.com has the link so you can listen at your convenience. Coming up in about 10 more minutes, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And today it's the Friday the 13th edition. Ooh, that means it's spooky. It doesn't mean anything, really. It's just Jake has been freaking out about Friday the 13th. He's still, I don't know, he hasn't been walking through a doorway, or what have you not been doing in the building to make sure that you don't get all creeped out about a Friday the 13th?
A few different things.
Yeah, okay. You eat a Slim Jim backwards?
I opened it backwards.
Right.
I don't think
He
you
opened
eat
it backwards.
Yeah.
What else have you done? I'm trying to think. He wears his mask that he usually wears on his chin. He wears it on his forehead.
Yep.
You do that as well?
It's kind of hard to see right now.
Yeah. So he's got that going on. And what else? Is there anything else? I mean, that pretty much covers everything. I think when it comes to the concerns people have about Friday the 13th, that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, just don't step on any cracks in the building as well.
No cracks. No cracks in the building. You got to worry about there's cracks in the building?
No, like on the ground, like.
Oh, you mean outside, when you get outside of the building. Yeah, because if you step on a crack, you better watch out, Jack. Isn't that?
That was nice.
Is that how it works? I don't know anything about Friday
or
the 13th.
Frank or Fred, whatever its name is.
I don't know. Just worried about your eating habits. By the way, speaking of eating habits, I don't know about you. This is a KFC crisis. Did you hear about this? A KFC crisis, everybody, is unfolding across the UK. So you've got nothing to worry about because you're not going to be going there anytime soon anyway, I'm sure. So there's a shortage of menu items. Is that happening here too? Somebody was saying to me, as I was talking about this yesterday, somebody brought this up in passing. Are you finding that there are menu items that are missing here at different restaurants? They're saying there's supply chain issues in the UK. I know there have been some here, trying to find truck drivers and different people in warehouses, of course, because, the Biden economy, you know how that works. It's not a joke. Not a joke. And so thanks to the Biden economy, we have all kinds of different things going on. Starbucks, Taco Bell, and McDonald's have been some of the most recent fast food companies to warn customers about limited menu items or shortages. And the latest now is KFC. And here's what their statement said. And this is what I think is really weird. Their statement in the UK, KFC, following this? Just a heads up that across the country, there's been some disruption over the last few weeks. So things may be a little different when you next visit us. You might find some items aren't available or our packaging might look a little different than normal. We know it's not ideal, but we're working hard to keep running smoothly. Please be patient. Okay. You might find some items aren't available or our packaging might look a little different. What does that mean? Like you order like a meal plan or something and you go to the window and you pull it out and you see the package and it says Al's Chicken. Don't lick your fingers. It's not COVID friendly. I mean, what is the package? What does that mean? The packaging's different. It comes in a Ziploc. What do they do?
Maybe they have different paper. Maybe it's just
I don't know. I just thought that was really weird. Who knows what it could look like? I picture the people at the windows at the fast food places. They're just tossing them into Ziplocs or they're wrapping it into oiled cloth. Or it's like here.
I mean, I could name about probably 5 different items that I want back now, like yesterday.
Oh, that are not on menus here in Southwest Florida. Is that right?
Cheese bagel at McDonald's is one. The Mexican pizza from Taco Bell is another one.
Yeah.
And what makes no sense is how are you going to bring new items, but then claim that you can't have the Mexican pizza anymore? I'm so confused by that.
That they're bringing other new items, but the one that you like that was a new item, they don't have.
No, it was like a staple. It was an old item.
Okay.
But then they come out with new stuff, take stuff away, but then they tell us this, and now the packaging's all different. I just want my steak and cheese bagel back.
All right, apparently. Wow, he's getting angry. All right. Maybe you should eat the Slim Jim this morning in the right way so that you get it in your belly because you're sounding really angry. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that KFC is, at least in the UK, the packaging might look different. I don't know what that would be. All right. Here's something that's not different. Democrats doing dumb things. There, I said it. Hey, at least 6 House Democrats might be doing a smart thing, and they're willing to block the infrastructure budget resolution. Moderate Dems want to pass the bipartisan roads and bridges infrastructure bill. This is the way it's being labeled at Hot Air. It's not a roads and bridges thing at all. People have been convinced that it's a roads and bridges issue, and it's not. That's not what it is. When 20% of a bill is infrastructure, that's not an infrastructure bill. We've said this time and time again. It's always, every single time, whether it's Mitch McConnell or whether it's Nancy Pelosi or anybody else, it's a
bowl of doggy doo.
That's exactly what it is. But now there's a little infighting going on, apparently. So you have 6 Democrats that are like, yeah, I'm not sure if we're ready to spend the kind of money that they want to spend. Progressives know all of this. They want this package together. They've convinced Pelosi that the 2 bills need to be voted on as one. And their way of ensuring Manchin and Sinema remain on board with reconciliation in the Senate is they're trying to make it palatable to everybody. If Pelosi held a standalone vote on the bipartisan bill in the House and passed it, then the centrist Democrats might then turn around and say, well, we're not going to vote on the other bill because we don't technically want it. And we know politically how damaging it could be. So all the leftists are saying that they're not going to vote on a bipartisan bill if she brings it to the floor by itself, ensuring that it will fail. So before you start thinking that Democrats have all of this sewn up, they don't necessarily. Politics are still at play. So that's some good news there. So does that make sense? The quote-unquote centrist Democrats, if they're out there, the less left-leaning Marxists, are like, yeah, look, we'll do the infrastructure thing, but we're not sure we necessarily want to do this whole big boat of $5 trillion of political and constitutional mess. And the progressives, the AOCs and everybody else are like, listen, Nancy, we're looking at you. I got my eye on you. And you do this all together. This is a Bernie Sanders. We put this together. We're the experts.
I'm not the expert.
Well, you're not. But we put this thing together, and we want it all as one package because we've got one shot to fundamentally change the country. We have one shot to destroy everything, Nancy, and you're not going to hold us back. So now she has to make a decision. So we're going to see. So that's that side of the issue. On immigration, you have 11 Senate Democrats who voted against something that seems like it would be the most logical thing to do in the world. Here's why Democrats stink. I don't want to use the other S word because I know my son's probably listening, and I don't like to be that way. But this is why Democrats stink. Senator Marshall from Kansas put forth an amendment to the Senate budget resolution that said, listen, let's require illegal migrants that are apprehended at the southern border to be tested for COVID before they're transported away to the border. 1 million plus have been apprehended. We're letting all of these illegals into the country. The least we can do to keep us safe in this country, because the vid is running rampant, and we got to have double and triple shots, the boosters, and whether or not the pumpkin spice Pfizer vaccine out there needs to have a booster to it, because we're finding out the efficacy is we don't know what's going on. It's just, I know the pumpkin spice thing I brought. If you were listening to the show earlier, you know what I'm talking about. You can go back to the podcast and check it out. So the senator from Kansas is like, why don't we just do that? We'll put it in there, right? If it's positive, they're going to have to be quarantined. You can't transport anybody. This is a pandemic. 11 Democrats in the Senate voted against testing illegal migrants for COVID-19 at the border. They voted against it. This thing needs to be put out there, shown who they are. People need to see who these Democrats are and understand as a party, it's probably exactly the way they're flowing. Cory Booker in New Jersey is one of them. Hirono in Hawaii. Markey in Massachusetts, Menendez in New Jersey, Sanders in Vermont, Ossoff in Georgia, Elizabeth Warren, all voting against it. No, we're not doing it. Really? We're not going to do that. Yeah, please don't tell us that we have to positively, absolutely follow the White House and the guidance from the CDC and the NIH and the Fauci, because he's never wrong, and all of these people that we have to follow with masking, double masking, triple the vaccines, or whatever they wanted, all of these different things that we have to do ultimately for our own good, when you won't even vote for an amendment being put into the budget resolution that would require illegals apprehended at the border to be tested for COVID. You're making it harder, and we see it. All right, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. This is your time right now. Jake, are you ready to go? Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. Caller number 5 right now at 239-479-5592. The 5th caller is going to play Drew's College. It's the Friday the 13th edition. Wait till you hear what this is going to sound like. How challenging it's going to be. It's just like a regular day. Stay right, 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. Friday morning commute off to a busy start. In Cape Coral, we've got a crash we're watching on Skyline Boulevard right near Bayshore Pine Island Road, causing some delays northbound on Skyline. Another crash in the Cape, blocking a southbound left turn lane onto Del Prado Boulevard. So seeing some slowdowns there, but you can still get through to turn at the light. We also have a crash we're watching in Alva, Broadway Street and Palm Beach Boulevard. Crash also in North Fort Myers at Moody Road and Anchor Way with possible roadblock, but no injuries reported. The roadblock's going to be on Moody, if anything, still. Also keeping an eye on a crash near Sunshine Boulevard and 39th Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres. Leonard Boulevard, we've got a crash heading toward Noble Avenue, causing some westbound slowdowns out there. Collier County roads, for the most part, are clear and quiet. We've got one minor issue, a disabled vehicle at Collier Boulevard and 23rd Avenue Southwest. And Charlotte County at this hour is crash and incident-free. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day, but scattered thunderstorms develop yet again for this afternoon, with highs pushing to near 93 degrees. All eyes on the track of Fred as we head into this upcoming weekend, which should primarily be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida. Expect some elevated winds. Tropical storm watches now in effect from Collier County up through the Englewood area. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 855-1HOUR for $50 off your repair, or visit onehourair.com and keep your cool. Beer.
Always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
It's a new day, and it's coming at you fast. It could be the day your workforce doubles, or the day your visitors quadruple. With Comcast Business, you'll have what you need to take on every twist and turn, like the flexibility to control multiple Wi-Fi networks from anywhere, and the power of the nation's largest gig speed network, the one that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a great offer for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Want even more speed? Ask how to get up to 10 gigs for your small business. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits per second internet and one voice line. Early termination fee applies. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Compares Comcast Business 10 gig EDI with AT&T 1 gig.
Lusk Draysites in Talisano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk Draysites in Talisano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit ldtlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk Draysites in Talisano. ldtlaw.com.
A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is State Representative Spencer Roach, and that single sentence has done more to preserve liberty than any part of the Constitution, but it's also under constant attack. Last session, your Republican legislature killed more than 20 bills directly attacking the Second Amendment. Bills were filed to repeal Florida's Stand Your Ground law, to ban assault weapons, to require background checks to purchase ammunition, to regulate how you can store weapons in your own home, and to allow local governments to make their own gun control laws. Every single one of those bills was stopped in its tracks. This is Spencer Roach, and the Second Amendment is the only permission slip I need to carry a gun, and you have my commitment that I will resist any action that attempts to violate it, because I understand what shall not be infringed means. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Michael in Cape Coral, who's talking to us right now. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir, and F-13.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, whatever. All right, it's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you are in a PhD or associate's degree question, sir. Starts right now. Here we go. Ronald Reagan, 1980, is the president of the United States. Who did he defeat to become the president of the United States?
My name is Jimmy Carter.
That is correct. I didn't know that your name was his name, too. It's like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Said every commercial back in the campaign. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, well, you got an associate's. Let's see if you get a bachelor's degree on this very question. In 1937, FDR proposed expanding this because he wanted to make it bigger. It didn't work out for FDR in 1937. What in the federal government did he want to expand?
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, that is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this very question. In 1981, less than 2 weeks after he was shot, this president returned to the White House. Who was it?
Ronaldus Magnus, otherwise known as Ronald Reagan.
That is correct. All right, you got a master's, a PhD on this question. And let's see. In 1865, this general surrendered to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, ending the Civil War. Which general was that?
Our county's namesake, Robert E. Lee.
That is correct, sir. Well, good for you. Congratulations, Michael, on this Friday the 13th edition of Drew's College, which is no different from any other. You got yourself a PhD, so I'm sure you're proud and you're feeling good.
Excessively.
It sounds like it. All right, Michael, we appreciate you. Have a good day. Thank you for playing. You okay? That was it. And then off he goes. All right, 239-479-5592. Our friend Amanda Milius is one of the best people to follow on Twitter right now, if you're into that thing, because she's funny. She doesn't give a hoot about what anybody thinks. She goes after a lot of different people. It's awesome. It's awesome to follow her on Twitter. You may remember she is the producer and director of The Plot Against the President. We're going to talk about that because she's going to join us in a little bit. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Content with the State Department under Trump. And maybe talk about a couple of the news stories of the day. Get into, again, the latest twists and turns, when it comes to it isn't over yet. Some of that we'll talk about it coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Stop. Don't purchase any diamonds, jewelry, or engagement rings until you come to Duncan's Diamonds. We are not your typical jewelry store. Here are a few reasons. Family owned. Stuart Duncan and his family have been involved in the wholesale diamond business for nearly a century. No middleman. We are direct diamond importers, offering prices 30 to 40% lower than the rest, passing all those savings to you. No pressure. We are not paid on commission. We are here to help you even if you do not purchase from us, and to make sure you are happy. The largest selection of diamonds and jewelry, access to millions of jewelry styles, and that is up to 30 times what you find in an ordinary jewelry store. Free services, like clean and check whether you purchased from us or not. Don't take our word from a radio ad. Visit Duncan's Diamonds. We will prove we will not be undersold anywhere, anytime, by anybody. Duncan's Diamonds.
US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Naples at Mercado.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Back or neck pain is not just unpleasant, it can be debilitating, preventing you from performing your daily routine and even confining you to bed. In decades past, patients suffering from spinal issues were often just given pain medication, spinal injections, and when they did not heal, often underwent spinal surgery. Luckily, there is now another option, non-surgical spinal decompression. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we use an advanced technology to apply a completely safe unloading force to relieve nerve compression associated with bulging herniated discs, sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, neuropathy. This award-winning approach, safe for any age, has gained international praise from physicians for its success. Complete pain relief is achievable. Johnson Spinal Care is here to serve you. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for an immediate, no-charge telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Grandpa Joe doesn't want voter ID, but Uncle Sam says we have to do a station ID. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
City after city after city falling to the Taliban. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The militants taking more control of Afghanistan while U.S. troops keep leaving in a withdrawal set to be complete at the end of the month.
I won't speculate beyond August 31st as to what the footprint's going to look like or how many troops are going to be there and what they're going to be doing.
Pentagon spokesman John Kirby as the U.S. deploys 3,000 troops to Kabul to evacuate Americans from the embassy. Now to Fox's Simon Owen following the Taliban takeover live.
Dave, Afghanistan's second and third largest cities have fallen to Taliban control. That's Kandahar and Herat. The rapid advance has the United Nations warning of a dire situation for civilians. The World Food Programme's Thompson Firry.
The conflict has accelerated much faster than we all anticipated, and the situation has all the hallmarks of a humanitarian catastrophe.
The Taliban is now thought to control around 2/3 of Afghanistan. Dave?
Simon, for the 9th time in the past 10 weekdays, new COVID cases topped 100,000. They're below that on weekends with less reporting. Hospitalizations and deaths have also risen. The CDC may take the next step today on giving COVID vaccine booster shots to people with compromised immune systems after the FDA authorized third Pfizer or Moderna shots. As for the rest of us,
all of us looking at the data will say boosters are going to be necessary at some point. The question is, what's the right timing?
Dr. Francis Collins heads the National Institutes of Health. San Francisco is joining New York City, requiring vaccinations for indoor activities. Workers and customers will need proof to get into bars and restaurants, gyms and theaters. After more than 212,000 migrants were stopped coming across the border last month, a 21-year high, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas went to Texas telling immigrants they won't be let in
if they enter the United States illegally and do not have a basis for relief under our laws.
America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News, traffic. Off to a busy start. In Cape Coral, we've got a crash we're watching on Skyline Boulevard, right near Bayshore Pine Island Road, causing some delays northbound on Skyline. Another crash in the Cape, blocking a southbound left turn lane onto Del Prado Boulevard, so seeing some slowdowns there, but you can still get through to turn at the light. We also have a crash we're watching in Alva, Broadway Street and Palm Beach Boulevard. Crash also in North Fort Myers at Moody Road and Anchor Way with possible roadblock, but no injuries reported. The roadblock's going to be on Moody, if anything, still. Also keeping an eye on a crash near Sunshine Boulevard and 39th Street Southwest in Lehigh Acres. Leonard Boulevard, we've got a crash heading toward Noble Avenue, causing some westbound slowdowns out there. Collier County roads, for the most part, are clear and quiet. We've got one minor issue, a disabled vehicle at Collier Boulevard and 23rd Avenue Southwest. And Charlotte County at this hour is crash and incident-free. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day with scattered thunderstorms developing yet again for this afternoon, with temperatures pushing to near 93 degrees and a few thunderstorms certainly lingering on into your Friday evening plans. All eyes on Fred as we head into the upcoming weekend, with Fred expected to pass just offshore of us as a tropical storm as we head into Saturday afternoon through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Fred primarily will be a rainmaker for Southwest Florida, though we could see some elevated winds with gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. Rainfall totals between 1 to 3 inches with locally heavier amounts will be possible, with certainly flooding being a potential as the system passes just offshore of us. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Collier County that extend up through the Englewood area. Make sure you stay tuned to updates. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window, and we would like to manufacture and install your windows. Only New South offers true factory direct windows to you. Only New South has award-winning windows that are made and designed specifically for our Florida weather. Every single New South window is custom manufactured just for your home. These are high-performance, energy-efficient windows, and now you can buy 2 windows and get the third absolutely free. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com or call for your factory direct pricing.
Call now, 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Hi, I'm Ty Laster, managing partner and CEO of Key City Capital. So why are we here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all of our partners through passive real estate investments. And very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
Call us today at 239-330-2080 or check us out online today at kcap925.com.
Southwest Florida homeowners.
Home values are up and interest rates are down, which means now is a great time for a mortgage checkup. This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse. Many of you listening might have purchased or refinanced your home within the past year, so your mortgage could be the last thing on your mind. However, the real estate market has changed quite a bit in 2021, which means your home has likely increased in value. More equity in your home means there has never been a better time to get cash out for home improvements. You could also qualify for a lower mortgage rate with our no closing cost refinance loan, and for some, more equity in your home means you could eliminate mortgage insurance. Mortgage Warehouse is Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader. No points, no hidden fees, no closing cost, period. Give us a quick call today at 313-5000. That's 313-5000, mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
First class air conditioning. Our name says it all.
Opportunity is knocking at First Class Air Conditioning. Are you looking for a trade? Apprenticeship opportunities available. Good customer skills required. Please call 239-574-2500. That's 574-2500.
First class air conditioning. Our name says it all.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's there. You can go and watch the program live. Also, don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast there as well. There's an easy link so that you can check us out anytime you would like. All right, Amanda Milius is quite honestly not only a fantastic person, but one of the best follows on Twitter right now, full stop. I guffaw, Amanda. I don't know about that. I do. I'm telling you, you are.
That was bold. That was a bold.
To say that you're one of the best follows on Twitter, or that I guffaw.
Yeah, because I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, why? Oh, because of the whole.
I don't
Twitter.
know. Like, this is a family show.
Yeah, no.
You never know.
Well, yeah, okay, yes. It just be. I guess that's a good little.
You might want to give them a language warning.
Yeah, let's just say that Amanda doesn't give a oomph about what anybody says or thinks, and sometimes it's just like, oh, man, did you just say that kind of thing? Anyway, producer director of the documentary, The Plot Against the President, a very, very important documentary. We'll talk a little bit about that this morning, and of course. With the Trump administration, was Deputy Assistant Secretary for Content at the State Department. All right, there's a lot to say there, and there's a lot to say with you this morning. How are you, first of all?
I'm good. Good to be with you this morning.
Yeah,
haven't seen you since our screening in Florida.
That's right, and it was awesome, and it's still something, Amanda, to talk about. And listen, I'll say it. There's so many questions, even with the election and election integrity, and certainly journalists who journalize and don't do journalism, and the thing about putting an opinion into news pieces and then say that it's news when it's actually opinion, which is not the kind of thing you'd like to see. Still many questions. And there's still, a lot of questions even that people have, and you probably hear them still, about with the movie and talking about certainly one of the biggest political scandals in history. Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been doing some screenings, either private events with like Republican organizations, or I've been going out with Devin Nunes on his Freedom Tour, where he goes to different states. He does like a speaking event, and then we screen the movie. And a lot of people, I mean, there's still basically I was expecting the story to have a bad ending, like a not a happy ending, meaning there's no justice, there's no accountability. I wasn't holding my breath for the DOJ to do anything. But I think a lot of people are still surprised at that, especially when they see the hypocrisy in the way that whatever you think of people that participated in protesting at January 6th, there's people that are in jail for nonviolent crimes that have been in jail since January.
Yeah.
And it's really insane to see, like we said in the movie. I mean, that's the thing, is the reason the movie worked is because we showed the blueprint. We showed how this Justice Department is the Justice Department is never going to it's never going to work until it's completely cleared out. The same with FBI, CIA. I mean, people are seeing that these organizations, these institutions are not the institutions they thought they were. I think that's why it's relevant. That's why I always point back to this, is that movie was the blueprint. It's what they repeat this. They do a hoax, the journalists fall in line, and then the DOJ supports it. And that is a corrupt system of justice. And it's a really dark thing because, conservatives especially, they like our institutions that we have in America. That's the funny thing, is the left is always coming at us being like, oh, they're criticizing the American institutions. You're like, well, yeah, that's because we see why they matter. We know why it's important to have a real Justice Department and a real national security infrastructure. We actually value those things. And that's why it's so offensive to see them just decayed the way they are.
Right. And then seeing in January 6th, you brought that up. Man, it's just, again, it's the continuation of how we're supposed to trust the process, trust the people involved in the process, trust what they're telling us, when all we see is quite the opposite with January 6th and people that are being held, where you have congressmen and women trying to see them and talk to them and not being allowed to even communicate. Some of the words that we're hearing out of some people recently released and how they're being treated. And clearly, again, for so many people, everything is political. Everything. Politics touches everything, from school boards locally all the way up the chain. You can't tell us that it doesn't. And then ultimately, when it's one-sided, that's where we start to see, well, hold on a second. How do you do this?
Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating because, again, it's not that we, as conservatives, I mean, speaking for myself at least, like, I don't run down the media because I don't appreciate the need for a fair press in this country. I actually think it's insanely important. Like, I actually value its original purpose a great deal. Like, to be able to have, especially in times like this with like public health issues, whatever you think of it, it would be nice if we could figure out what the actual truth is. And I mean, part of that would be governments not pretending that they know everything and, forcing solutions down people's throats that may not be. But it's one of these things where you're like, even if I wanted to believe them, I couldn't. I mean, they've so discredited themselves that it's really unfortunate, because there really is no neutral set of facts left. And I didn't do that. You guys didn't do that. Your listeners didn't do that. The media did that. The press did that. The left-wing press and these traditional institutions basically destroyed themselves. Yeah. And it's incredibly awful in times like this. I mean, people are discussing things, obviously, down to COVID and the vaccine and everything. And I have some friends that are very political, and they're inclined to be very resistant to talking about their health with random strangers. And so obviously are not interested in disclosing to restaurants and movie theaters and whatever else what their vaccination status is, because it's insane.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and they're also inclined not to inject themselves with experimental substances. But we had a friend in our group of friends that actually passed away from COVID recently. And so people were, I found that this group of very smart people are without a source of solid information anywhere. Like, the government's made itself so authoritarian in this desire to vaccinate everybody that that there's no people who want to actually look at the subject with like a reasonable stance and actually just determine what the best thing to do is. Can't do it because there's just no credible information anywhere.
Yeah. And I think not only that, but I would add this little bit of audio from Walensky and the CDC when just the other day when talking about the need for people to get vaccinated in a specific group. And she says this, Amanda.
This week, we are taking 2 important steps in encouraging and improving vaccine protection for Americans. First, for pregnant people.
For pregnant people. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. And that's your point and everybody else's point, which is, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm
supposed to take medical
lockstep.
Advice.
Right, I'm supposed to be lockstep
Yeah.
in with what the CDC says. And they're they're saying birthing people. And we're doing this, pregnant people. We can't even say They can't even say it. What's so fundamental.
And you know what's crazy is that they know what they're doing.
Yep.
Like, I've been in government communications meetings. Like, they know exactly what they're doing, and every word is rehearsed. And they know that they are in a public health situation in this country, and they know that they are discrediting themselves with the majority of America when they say that, and they don't care. That's the thing, is I would take them more seriously if they actually, the other day, I believe the CDC director was whining about, she's like, oh, it's really hard to communicate with Americans. Like, I found it, people don't believe us, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, that's why. And you know that. It's
Right.
cynical. It's really, really, really evil. It's just dark. People need information they can trust, and these people are running around talking about birthing people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's frustrating. Amanda Millius joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We talk about, and again, I wish there was, this is not necessarily part of the blueprint, but I want to get back to that again because it's so important. When you think about everybody, the plot against the president, and if you haven't seen it yet, we'll tell you exactly where you can go to see it. And it's a very important film if you haven't watched before, because it is that blueprint. And I think even the blueprint that's in the movie, that as you watch it happen and then again it repeats itself, I wonder if bits and pieces of the information that we're not getting is on display as well when it comes to the vaccinations and the border and other things that we don't get necessarily from the media or the White House. That is there something in the plot where we've talked about that blueprint, looking at everything as it happens and go, oh wow, now you can see it when they do it the next time. I wonder if there's a little bit of that in what we just talked about with some of the disinformation.
There definitely is, in the fact that every move by these government officials, by the people in the press, by the IC, is to create a mass wave effect, narrative wise. So mentally, in the minds of people, every move anticipates interpretation. I mean, that's the thing. They count on people skimming headlines, kind of most people not really being that plugged in to to the details of the news, and being able to then say, oh wait, this is contradicting itself, this is crazy. They count on just these sort of vague narratives peeking through to most of the population. And I mean, yeah, you see it in everything. You see it in every single hoax that they do, and they use it as a cloak for themselves and a creative tool against their enemies. And that's why you see things like, you start to question your own sanity, where you're like, didn't we just watch an entire summer or year of last year of BLM burning down buildings and rioting and causing tons of damage and destruction, and then they turn around and they act like they've never seen somebody knock over a trash can before, right, when MAGA grandparents are walking through the Capitol. And so you start to yourself, doubt it, where you're like, do I just have this opinion because, there's something wrong with me? It's just incredible, but they know what they're doing and it's on purpose. And the fact that they can keep a straight face while they're doing it is just shocking.
Yeah. And even when I brought up earlier in the show, as I was reading out of a John Hopkins myth versus facts on COVID-19, and they were talking about getting, getting the vaccine if you've already had the virus. And their answer to the myth with facts was, you may be getting more protection if you were to take this shot. I mean, I could do the quote where I'm saying to myself, and I talked to my wife about this yesterday. I'm like, hold on a second. They're telling us that it may and might. So they're using words may and might as the science behind what we
facts.
should be. Right. And that's what they're coming. And people don't see that. Like maybe and a might. I don't do things scientifically or put things in my body or give things to my son or anything like that on a maybe or a might. I mean, 18 months in, I think we have more information, right?
No, it's insane that they can get away with that.
Yeah.
The fact that they can be as authoritarian as they are, and then they don't even have. That's what I mean. It's so frustrating. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, we're not going to get away from an authoritarian government. Like, I see that now. Got it. Like, you guys are going to be authoritarian freaks, and that's just what we're going to have to live through. But at least could you just commit? Could you commit to the information? Like, don't put maybe or might. Like, if you're going to be like, all right, this is a medical tyranny, you're all going to get this shot. Could your propaganda at least commit? I know it's not true, but could you guys at least just be like, this is the most amazing shot. It's going to, it's going to save you from everything. We're all going to live 200 years. Like, the technocracy is complete. Just like for making me feel better about it. Again, it's the same things. I also say, like, I wish that, like, if our elites are going to be our ruling class, I'd like them to actually be elite. Like, they're just these like midwit, just unimpressive people. And that's what's so frustrating about it, is that we have this like tyranny of like mediocre bureaucrats. And I'm like, I get it. Like, if I have to live through like an authoritarian regime period of time in history, could at least be a cool one. Like, why does it have to be this?
Could it be a cool one? What would that entail? Is it the way they dress? What is it?
Or like, like costumes or something. Like, couldn't there be like mandatory dress code, but could the dress code at least have some kind of like cool look to it?
Is that
like,
what the sophisticated vaccinated look like? Is that how that works? The sophisticated,
right. Like, if they're going to be, it's like they can't even be. And they can't ever acknowledge to themselves that that's what they are. I mean, it's almost like, you've got to kind of admire like, like monarchy and the sort of the feudal system, because at least like their ruling class would like parade around with some kind of opulence. Like, they hide their opulence. Like, instead of it being like something that like looks cool and propels art forward, like, the opulent will like fund a cathedral or something. They have Obama's birthday party on Martha's Vineyard where they're dancing around with like, 2010 era, dance club vibes. Like, there's nothing cool about this elite class.
Right.
Like, there's just like, when you look at those videos, did you see those where it was
yes.
It was like Erykah Badu or something was like, I don't know what was going on. And they were like dancing around with like stupid filters. And you're like, this is what the elite do. This is the most elite party in the world. This is like the intelligence community's creme de la creme, rulers of the universe. And like, that's what it looks like. Like, it looks like an outdoor bar mitzvah at like, Long Island. It's like, it's not even like cool. Anyway.
That's all right. So, speaking of cool, Amanda Milius, before we go, I have to mention this because you mentioned it to me and now I had to mention it to everybody else. You brought up Red Dawn. Anniversary.
Well, you know why?
Yes,
because it was Red Dawn. It was the release date anniversary.
Right? Was it the 25th? Is that 20? Was it the 20?
No, it was longer than that. I think it was
1984. Right? Yes. And Red Dawn. Now, why would you bring up Red Dawn, Amanda Milius? Why would you bring that up?
Yeah, because my dad is John Milius, who wrote it and directed it, and it's becoming not like a fantasy film anymore. It's sort of becoming, a guide, an alternative history or something.
Yep.
except the invading force is, I don't know, the CDC, let's say, or something like that. I mean, that sort of makes more sense now. But yeah, it's great, and I love that it still has such an impact on people. And I honestly think that my dad is more valued and kind of. I'm glad that he's sort of lived to see himself be understood better, and I think that he's got a real. People appreciate him. Like, there's this whole contingent of people online who are like younger people that are obsessed with Conan the Barbarian and the Red Dawn stuff. Just all of his stuff is really, it really speaks to people, especially even now. I mean, it hasn't become less relevant. It's become more relevant.
Yeah. And I remember watching that film in New York, and I remember what the weather. Seriously, it's really strange. I don't know why, but I remember what the weather was like outside. I remember where the theater was. And if you've ever watched, by the way, this is for everybody. If you've ever watched a movie in New York, it is the absolute worst place to watch a movie, any place on the planet, because they can't shut up. Because New Yorkers are always commenting on what's going on the screen, like it's live theater. It's the movie, people. Stop yelling at the screen and talking to. But I remember that. But it had that kind of impact. It was just that kind of. It was that kind of cool in the 80s, and obviously now, years later, you look at it just like you're talking about, and it's like, man, it's like a guide. It's
it's like a it's prescient. I mean. Yeah, and that's one of the cool things is people can still get behind it. It's a really like cheerful thing where, I mean, it was perfect for the times. Everybody shouts Wolverines. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad people still remember its anniversary and talk about it. And, it's just cool. Yeah. Somebody on Twitter the other day was like, oh, you should do because, they made a second one. They made one in 2012 that was like awful that we don't even
we don't talk about
that. I've never even seen it, but I mean, I've seen pieces of it because they always use it as national security slideshow examples of how China took over Hollywood. Because if you remember, the second Red Dawn is the sort of first really, I mean, it'd been going on longer than that, but it was the first really big blockbuster moment where they re-edited a movie to release it in China,
right?
Which is insane and ironic that it would be the Red Dawn remake of all things.
Right.
Just to show you how far our country has fallen in just a few years. But yeah, no, I haven't watched much of that, but somebody was saying, oh, you should do a different one, like a new one. And I'm like thinking about it, and you're like, yeah, if you did a Red Dawn for right now, you would be doing it about bureaucrats. It would be about a bureaucratic invasion, and that's what's happening in our country right now.
Yep. Yeah.
It's insane.
No, that's a great point. All right, Amanda Milius, we got to run. For everybody who hasn't had the opportunity to watch The Plot Against the President, I mean, the best place for them to get more information would be to go to the website, or where would you like them to go? What do you think?
Yeah, go to the website. We have it's www.patpmovie, which is Plot Against the President movie.com. And you can just click watch it now and all of the options will come up. And also actually so we're always on Amazon, iTunes, Vimeo. But the new thing that we just joined is called Rockfin, and it's a free speech friendly neutral platform, and it's really important for people to support those because platforms it's going to be a lot harder to put out movies like The Plot Against the President in the next coming years if we don't have neutral platforms that are not going to censor people. And so it's a really good platform. Tucker Carlson was talking about Rumble last night, and people we're going to have to start getting away from the tech tyranny and going to other places. So Rockfin is definitely great to see it there. Otherwise, Amazon, iTunes, and it's on DVD at Walmart.
There you go. All right, Amanda Milius, you're the best. And
Thank
we can do this again soon, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you soon. There she goes.
Okay.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
News. Joe Biden's plan for America? Recycled leftovers. Time for some right thinking. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
It's a new day, and it's coming at you fast. With Comcast Business, you'll have what you need to handle it, like the flexibility to control multiple Wi-Fi networks and the power to the nation's largest gig speed network. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy has reopened, and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
Oh.
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 Ladies, this is Dr. Lou Spangler at Neogenics, and we are now pleased to offer the O-Shot, also known as the orgasm shot.
Oh.
The O-Shot may help improve your ability to orgasm, improve orgasm intensity, enhance lubrication and alleviate dryness, improve or eliminate annoying urinary incontinence, and reduce or eliminate vaginal discomfort. The O-Shot is a non-surgical treatment that I perform in the office.
Oh.
There is little to no pain, and you may immediately resume all your normal activities after treatment, including sexual activity. Don't you deserve the fulfillment you've always desired? Call Neogenics now at 239-277-9999 for a free consultation. That's Neogenics at 277-9999, 239-277-9999.
What's up, Southwest Florida? It's your friend Tyler McCluskey here, and I'm reminding you about our new show that airs every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on 92.5 Fox News. Every week, I give you all the information you need to know about your health insurance needs. We also promote local real estate, entertainment, and have a guest host each week. Be sure to tune in live every Saturday at 11 a.m. or download our show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For more information or a health insurance quote, visit TylerMcCluskey.com.
Join us this Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Tyler McCluskey Show, right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
Hey guys, Dr. Amy here, your favorite chiropractor. We're back for your daily dose of Did You Know Chiropractic can help with that. And today we talk about cognitive function. Are you struggling with your memory, or maybe you notice that it's taking you longer to process information? Do you also notice that your reaction time is slower than it used to be? Maybe you've just decided that this is what getting old looks like, or maybe that's what some doctor has told you, that this is just from getting old. But studies actually show that getting regular chiropractic care, specifically getting adjusted in your neck, can dramatically improve your cognitive function. So if you struggle with memory loss, slowed reaction time, or slowed processing time, and you're wondering if chiropractic can help you too, call us at 239-628-4899. That phone number is 239-628-4899. And remember, your power is on.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Fox News listeners, Saturday morning is the perfect time to talk boats and water fun in Southwest Florida. This is Adam Botana again from Baywater Sousa Boat Club. Join us every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 for the Baywater Boat Club Hour. We talk boats, fishing, boating hotspots, water quality, on top of Jake the Millennial and I just having fun on the radio. And if you don't have a boat, Baywater Sousa Boat Club has got you covered. Just call me, Adam, at 239-495-0455.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton today at noon, Hannity at 3, and The Drive with Trey Radel at 5. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, Steve for the sports.
Hi, I'm Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. You've heard me say we're the working and retired person's country club. This means coming in for a meal, a drink, or with a party, and we will obtain your complete satisfaction with our food, service, and value. We strive for excellence with your service experience and our food. So on the rare occasion we fall short, tell us and we'll fix it. Plus, at Stevie Tomatoes, there are no pretenses, no attitudes, high prices, or rushing you in or out. Come relax, enjoy yourself, and be yourself. At Stevie's, we love meeting the men and women who currently and in the past work hard to make America great. We appreciate their values, honesty, industriousness, and affection for this great country. So head to Stevie's, where we strive for excellence in everything we do. I guarantee it. In Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Come.
Stevie Tomatoes, sports page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
No matter what it's like outside, Trane makes it comfortable inside. You can get a great deal now on a new heating and cooling system at Trane. Visit TraneInfo.com. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local dealer and more. Because it's hard to stop a Trane. Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals, appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Replace your AC today, go on a cruise tomorrow. Island Air wants to send you to the island. Matt here from Island Air of Southwest Florida with some great news.
Decisions. Do I buy an air conditioner? Do I take a vacation? For a limited time, Island Air is offering you both in one package.
Call us today to find out more details on how to claim your voucher. Call 239-466-8668.
Call 466-8668 for more details.
License number CAC 057544.
License number CCC 1333045.
Storm safety starts at the top. When the wind and rain come, count on Crown Residential Services to make certain your roof is storm ready. After all, it should never rain inside your house. Crown offers repairs, replacement, free estimates, and the Crown Guard maintenance program, so you can be prepared and stay prepared. Is your roof ready? Not sure? Count on Crown. Call 855-CROWN-55. That's 855-CROWN-55. Make sure your biggest investment is absolutely protected. Call 855-CROWN-55.
Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit LDTlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano. LDTlaw.com.
I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Unfortunately, many drivers in Florida do not carry liability insurance or have limits of insurance that are insufficient to cover your injuries. Uninsured motorist is valuable coverage that you can purchase to protect you in those instances. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Fort Myers, Naples.
We're always looking the future straight in the eye. At FPL, we're planning, preparing, and investing in clean energy. Because Florida deserves an energy future we can depend on. See how at fpl.com/value.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you and your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
The right place for local talk. Drew now. Trey for the drive at 5. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line. DrewSteele.com, the website where you can watch. You can subscribe to the podcast if you like there as well. There is a link Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about how the governor of the state of Florida is like, yeah, listen, I know everybody wants to forget about the whole mask mandate thing. Well, not everybody. It may be in Broward County and Alachua. And, we got this thing called the Parents' Bill of Rights that's signed there into law, and there's something in there about that. And so if you want to buck the trend of following the law, then that's fine. We might have a say about that. And there's a little bit of back and forth and pushback by the governor that we're going to get to in just a second. But also a lot of news that's out there that I wanted to bring our good friend Mike Opelka in, pureopelka.com, because it's Friday. And so that means he's here no matter what anyway. So.
Yeah, even when I'm just angry about everything.
Oh, I know. Today is one of those days where I hate, we like to end the week on a high note and happy and joy.
Not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah,
sorry. I have to disabuse you of that.
Yeah,
today thinking.
Today's not the day. All right, so Afghanistan is an absolute mess, and I'm sorry, but Biden owns this.
Biden owns it, and not only does Biden own this, but he owns what China's going to do next.
Yeah, that's
because Afghanistan has $1 trillion worth of rare earths underneath its surface, and China wants those. So China's ready to come in and be the new boyfriend in Afghanistan and take care of everything. But where else this is causing a whole bunch of problem, and China is now saying, "Oh, so the U.S. just left, and the Taliban is taking over provincial capitals on an hourly basis and selling girls into slavery and all that kind of bad stuff that we saw before." They're also looking at Taiwan and going, the U.S. isn't going to do anything.
Yep.
It's time to take back what we believe is ours. So this has multiple issues on multiple stages, going to cause multiple problems. I'm not happy about this.
You've got Russia and Ukraine and what's been given to them, where we take away the Keystone XL pipeline, but give them Nord Stream 2 and be able to do what they do there in Europe and giving them all of this. And on top of that, we've got nothing to worry about because Jen Psaki was talking about the Taliban, and she said,
the Taliban also has to make an assessment about what they want their role to be in the international community.
Right.
The Taliban doesn't give a rat's patoot about the international community. They're giving them a single-fingered salute right now.
Man.
No, we don't care. No.
One of the most unbelievable statements. The tone is just out of control. It
sounds like high school.
Yeah.
It sounds like the mean girls at high. Well, you better think how we're going to look at you going forward, little miss. You show up at school with those poodle skirts on, we're going to talk about you.
Poodle skirts? You might have you might have explained that to Jake because he has no idea what a poodle. No, Jake, they didn't make skirts out of poodles. Don't get nervous.
Yes, they did. They did.
No,
and
don't
Heather,
get.
Yes,
don't
and
do
Heather
that
Locklear stays young by eating poodle meat. That's not true. None of that is true.
You've just I haven't seen him blush in a long time. Look at that. He doesn't know what to say. Although
I own a poodle. I'm not advocating either making skirts or dinner out of poodles.
Well, by the way, speaking of poodles, because you brought it up, I mean, this is kind of completely off the top. We'll rein it back in just a second. From what I heard and what I understand, poodles are the most intelligent of the breeds, aren't they? Or
They're
one of
brilliant.
them?
They're
one
brilliant.
Of the most.
They're right up there near the top, and they are really brilliant. And that's why that's the only dog we have. And so I look like a real killer macho dude walking around the neighborhood with a poodle.
Yes, you do. All right. Moving on from Afghanistan, one mess to, hey, by the way, one thing I've been hearing, and I don't know if you heard anything about this in particular, just because I'm trying to find a little ray of sunshine or hope in what seems to be quite a mess. I'm hearing that 6 House Democrats are willing to block the infrastructure budget resolution. And there's kind of like this back and forth between Pelosi and the hard left as opposed to the not so hard left.
Do you really think that this has any basis in reality? This is all press. This whole thing is scripted. Oh, God, yeah. And Joe Manchin suddenly going to be responsible and not vote in line with the party. These people are just playing a little political theater. It's enough to make the GOP go, oh, they actually are going to be reasonable. No, they're not. No,
Well,
they're
right.
not.
Yeah, I don't
Pelosi's-
want them to think that. I don't want the GOP to think that there's going to be some kind of reason in there. But I'm wondering if there is a possibility that you have some Democrats that, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to flip everything there in the House. If there are some that are just like, listen, we've got elections coming up not too far from now, and I'm pretty confident. Go ahead.
It may shave $500 billion off the
Yeah.
$6 or $5.5 trillion.
That's probably the bottom line.
But it ain't stopping it. This freight train is already on the tracks, fueled up, loaded up, and ready to go.
Yeah.
The debt train is on the way.
Well, the good news, if you want to hit another good news story, is that the border surge is just a seasonal thing, right? So
Yeah, it's seasonal. Joe Total said it was seasonal. It's gonna diminish, but every month we've had an increase for the past 5 months. And I monitored MSNBC this morning, so you don't have to. Morning, Joe.
Thank you.
They didn't mention it at all. Did not even bring it up.
Wow.
No matter that we have 200,000 plus people that had they're calling it interactions. And we know that between 16 and 20% of those caught are testing positive for COVID, and we're releasing them into the interior of the country. 16 to 20% infection rate. If that was happening in your state,
Yeah.
the rest of the country would build a wall around Florida.
And by the way, just in case you're wondering how responsible when it comes to this issue Democrats are, 11 Senate Democrats had an opportunity to vote for an amendment to the Senate's budget resolution that said, listen, the illegals that are along the border that we're apprehending, we want to test them before they're transported any place. We test them. If it comes back positive, we quarantine it. They wanted to make this as part of the amendment in the budget resolution, and 11 Senate Democrats said, yeah, no, we're not signing off on that, including Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Ossoff in Georgia and Markey in Massachusetts and Booker. Yeah, so that's what they think about your, hey, we've got an issue along the border where you're telling us to make sure that we're masked up and vaccinated and everything else and tested, but you don't care what's going on there with regards to illegals. It's
No.
horrible.
It is duplicitous. They are hypocrites to the highest extent. And you know what else burns my butt?
Well, I would agree with you, by the way, with your last statement if I knew what duplicitous meant. But go ahead. What's burning your your tush?
A flame about this high. No, what also has me is the mainstream media.
Thank you.
Thank
was
you.
a little
Next
late.
actress from Philly. The mainstream media is using children and the fear factor with children to try and beat us over the head over COVID and the latest surge. And I'm sure you talked about the RSV.
But let's bring that up again because it's an important issue.
Yeah, it's a typical virus infection, a respiratory infection that kids get, and it kind of mimics or parallels COVID. So a lot of kids have gotten it and been diagnosed, and they misdiagnose or they diagnose it as COVID, and they're going to get over it in a week, pretty much like the way they get over COVID, because kids can beat this pretty quickly unless they're immunocompromised. But on top of that and the misdiagnosis, a newspaper in Texas, have you talked about the Texas Tribune?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay. Texas Tribune came out and said, we have a problem. In the last 7 weeks, there have been 5,800 children hospitalized with COVID.
Yeah.
In the is insanely infectious and growing, and we have to be nervous. And yesterday, they came out with a correction, not just a correction, a major correction. That 5,800 and change children was since the pandemic began. They were only off by a factor of 43. In the time they mentioned, it was something like 750 kids versus 5,800.
Oh.
So they're only off by a factor of 43. And, it took so long to get the correction. This proves that adage, because the mainstream media has been rolling with this infected children thing. The rumor gets halfway around the world before the truth puts its pants on.
Well, they did this to us. They did this to us here in the state as well. They did the same thing when they said, record-setting numbers in the state of Florida over the weekend. And it was like, whoa, no. You added that we don't do this on the Sundays. And and Saturdays, and you added these numbers together, and they were multiple days added into one day, and then they were like, oh, yeah, we messed up on that one. But hey, the news is already out there, and everybody already thinks it was record-breaking, so sorry for that. What are we supposed to do? And this is what they do.
They're bad at journalism and bad at math, which I guess ties into why the Oregon governor is allowing kids to graduate from high school without being able to read or do math.
Hey, tell that story.
Katie Brown signed a bill in secret earlier this week, which will allow students to get a high school diploma no matter whether they can read or actually do math, because she decided that those pesky math tests and that ability to read, well, that's just kind of racist and unfair to people of color.
I know. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely outrageous.
I need to introduce you to somebody, a young lady. She's got 2 kids, 3 years old and barely a year old. And she started an organization called Free to Learn. And they are teaching parents how to deal with school boards and how to organize and overturn some of the ridiculous things they've been doing. And you might want to have her on the radio because she's doing great work all over the country. freetolearn.org. They're showing these parents how to go to school board meetings and take care of business.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that and certainly talk about that and have them on for sure. Mike Opelka joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. A couple of stories I'm looking at before we finish out the weekend festivities. I bet you're happy about this because we talked about this before. Britney Spears' dad stepping down from conservatorship. Did I miss you? Did I lose you?
On what planet do I give another rat's patoot about? I will tell you this. I did monitor that story on the 3 networks.
Yeah.
Because all 3 networks yesterday spent 0 time on inflation,
right,
and what's going on the border, but they each spent 20 seconds covering Britney's daddy gonna finally step down from conservatorship.
Right.
So 0 time. ABC, NBC, and CBS News, which 20 million people watch every night. 0 time. You wouldn't, and we would not know there was a crisis on the border.
Yeah.
But you know that Britney at 40 is going to get her freedom back.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. And then the other story that will end on, I guess, a better, lighter note is the whole Field of Dreams from Major League Baseball. Did you see a little bit of that? Did you hear Kevin Costner?
I gotta tell you, I had a little tear in my eye last night. I've told baseball we're done until you stop the kneeling.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to catch the message. And it was a really well-crafted night with a Hollywood ending, with my Chicago White Sox having a walk-off home run to win the whole thing after the Yankees took the lead in the top of the 9th. It was a great example of what baseball could be. And if you watch Field of Dreams, the movie again, there's great messages about how baseball is a thread through this country through tough times. But I have good Florida sports news. If I can share with you.
Why not? We're in Florida. That's what we should do.
Florida resident, although he's in Delray Beach, is his home right now. Riley Opelka made it through to the quarterfinals in the massive Toronto ATP 1000 tournament. So he's one of the 8 remaining players out of 64 for this gigantic prize.
Awesome.
And
he has the same last name as you. That's interesting. Was that coincidence or?
I'm his uncle. And, proud. I suffer from proud uncle syndrome every time.
No, you don't suffer from it. People that suffer from it usually don't do.
People who suffer from it are the ones listening to me. I could clear a room talking about this kid.
No,
but it's in Toronto. I think he's playing today around 1:00 on the Tennis Channel. So.
And by the way, in case you don't know a whole lot about Riley, you can't miss him. He's the tallest.
Yeah, he's 7 feet tall.
No joke.
No joke. I say he's 6'12". That's how I describe him. People are, how tall is he? 6'12".
Yeah.
And they're like, he hit a tennis ball yesterday in for an ace that 143 miles an hour. If you added the last 3 tennis balls I hit, he's still faster than me.
All right, good stuff. All right, we end there. All right, Mike Opelka, you're the best, and we'll see you next week. Have a lovely
I'm
weekend.
not going to argue with you. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
All
Love
right.
you.
I'll see you. All right. We'll see how the weekend is shaping up. Obviously, throughout the weekend today, we are keeping an eye on Fred and keeping an eye on the tropics. And Casey Sherman is going to tell us right now the latest. And make sure you stay right here. You'll have all the details you need on Fred. So what's happening right now?
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. A quiet start to the day, but scattered thunderstorms develop yet again for this afternoon with highs pushing to near 90.